Yes, guys, can start.
Can we start? Yes. Hello, I'm Rakshant and this is Aditya, this is Sarin. We are Team Cali. Our mission is to enable businesses increase their revenue and profits with sales, vertical agents, and call agentic systems. Moving on. The problem that we found at hand was that manual cold calling involved a lot of storage costs and operational costs, and the existing technology calls are really inefficient. People don't even pay attention to them when they are called by those things. And why do we believe the solution for this should be found today or now? Is because there's less competition amongst companies using voice agents to solve this problem. I'm not saying there are no companies, there's less companies. And traditional businesses that were not tech savvy are becoming open to adopt AI technology now these days. Next. Our solution is a web application in which businesses can upload their lead sheet, build custom AI voice agents, carry autonomous cold calling, and then through our intelligent lead qualification, the Excel sheet is updated with the whether the lead was interested or not interested. If you want to see a quick demo of a minute, you can click on that right now. Should I? You want?
Yeah. This minute will be taken from the 7 minutes. It's the same.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
By the way, I'll tell you something. Power BI is actually 10 times better than Microsoft.
Wow, that's a voice agent. That's very powerful.
That's the app.
Take the wrong video.
That was a wrong video, old video.
It's okay, you can cut it from there.
Oh, it's fine.
That's
Hi there, my name is Sarah, representing Safe First Insurance. I thought I'd reach out as I'm calling about saving you money on your insurance coverage. Do you have a minute to talk?
Yeah, sure.
We typically make decisions about home insurance in your household.
It's me.
Great, thank you. What's your current approach to home insurance? Are you already covered, or are you looking for a new policy?
Can we skip through this?
yeah, sure.
Okay, so
Details about our
what
premium
data
coverage.
did she collect?
The lead is interested.
Okay, it's just yes or no.
Yeah. And good slide. Right, so the total market, the TAM is at around 35 billion, and we go to the sum of just English speaking call centers, that's at about 4 billion. And if we just take India, that's $500 million, and we aim to like touch realistically 100 million or so. So next, so these are our competitors. So that's Land AI, Retail AI, and Vapi. So one edge that we have over our competitors is that we are a no-code tool for outbound call center, while everyone, like the companies that adopt it, need some technical person to be using our product, and we are focused on traditional businesses that don't have technical people in them. Right. So right now, Traction, we have 10 companies on the wait list. We have developed our MVP, so we consulted a new number of customers for that. And Airtel Hyderabad has showed intent for the same. They're helping the feedback loop of things. So has Traffic Radius Australia. So they have like 40,000 calls per month. Partners, so DKT Technologies is a company in this space for the past 28 years. So they want to partner with us, given that we reduce our pricing to half of what it is currently. our go-to-market strategy. So we will be purely B2B and targeting companies, traditional businesses specifically that use outbound cold calling. And right now, with the customers that we have seen traction, we have decided to double down on marketing agencies, recruitment agencies, and finance companies for the same. And we are advised by the KT Technologies to use prepaid so that prevent cheating and fraud of late payments and stuff like that. So we're providing only prepaid packages. Our pricing structure is this, but we are trying to reduce this to 1/10 of what it is right now. But we are equal to all our competitors right now. And flexible credit usage. So any credit just not used can be moved on to the next month. Our sales channels, right now we are doing all LinkedIn, but we are in talks with AWS or Azure for sales members, like the gold members and all that stuff. And yeah, later when we have enough funds, we can use SEOs and stuff as well.
Yeah, so our targeted revenue for this year is $250,000, and with just 4 to 5 of our customers, with each customer having 40,000 to 50,000 calls per month, and in a time period of 3 years, we are aiming to generate a revenue of $5 million. So, why is our team the best fit to solve this problem? So I'll introduce you to Rakshant. He is the co-founder and CEO of this company. He manages the business development and the sales. Also, he is an ex-Rove intern, which is a YC-backed firm, and he has also done research at IIT Madras for 2 years, which shows his dedication. And yeah. And then there's Aditya, who is the co-founder and the CTO. He is a first-year AI/ML engineer, and he has done research at Blast AI, and he's a Harvard Ventures Tech Fellow student. And then there comes me. I'm the founding engineer and CIO at Kali. I'm a full-stack developer, meaning which I'm a certified web developer, an app developer, and a game developer. I worked at WYC as the head of sales and logistics department. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Guys, I have a few questions from you. I hope you can answer.
Sure.
Yeah, tell me a little about your past experiences. Have you guys built this product for the first time, or like do you have prior experience of building something in open source?
Actually, I built multiple voice agents before that. One for financial, say, kind of advising to save your wealth and to save your expenses, and one for it was a part of hackathon where I built a customer support chatbots and all. So I have built chatbots and voice agents as well.
Okay. Also, right now, at what stage you guys are? Like, have you built the MVP or are you building it?
It is built and it is ready to be used by customers. We are just in the process to deploy it.
Okay, so what's the action plan for the next 3 months? Like, once you get funded, let's say, or you get enough funds, what is the next step?
The next step is to first serve our waitlisted customer and trying to get some more customers around 50 or maybe 20 or 30. And
Okay.
based on that, we will try to expand our more features and try to target a particular vertical and automate that using agents.
Okay. And right now, the team is currently you three guys, or is there anybody else also?
Just we three. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Okay. So all of my questions are done. Yash, if anybody has any other questions, you can ask. It was really great. It was really great for the pitch and interesting product.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you run me through your tech stack?
Yeah, sure. So just talking about web agent part, we are using a DeepGram API for converting speech to text and then sending that text to LLM for generating responses. And those responses will be converted into speech using DeepGram. And for ensuring low latency, we are using Redis cache. So when the customer uploads its knowledge base, it will be sent to RAG. And before starting the agent, it will query and just take the important information about the company, and it will store in the cache so that when the agent wants to fetch the knowledge, it doesn't have to go through RAG and all. It will be already available there and it will save the time.
why not use Gemini or real-time voice?
Real time, we went through that, but it is little expensive to be used by Indian users.
Actually, it's very expensive.
Yeah,
It is very expensive.
yeah, it is very expensive. And
What
Gemini,
about 11 or Giga ML or
Yeah. Giga ML, I don't know about that, but 11 Labs is comparatively expensive than this.
11 is
Deep,
expensive.
yeah, Deep RAM is comparatively cheaper than 11 Labs.
Sarvam?
Sarvam, I haven't tried yet.
but Gemini real-time?
No, I haven't
We haven't
tried.
tried it.
So Gemini real-time has the same context window of 1 million tokens.
Okay, is it cheaper than this? Like
Yeah,
Deep RAM?
it is.
I
Yeah,
should
because
definitely.
my okay, so tech stack's fine actually. My question was, where did you get the 250K number from?
Where did we get?
You said this year you all are looking to close.
Yeah, based on
250K in that.
that may be a little bit more, but based on our users' number of calls they did, based on that we are expecting at least 10,000 or
So
20,000.
do you have a monetary commitment?
Sorry.
Not yet. Not
we have
any
demo calls.
nothing on paper yet.
No MOUs.
No.
No. We are booked for demo calls. They said that after demo we will proceed forward. And yesterday also we got a call
So this is just specific to lead generation, right?
lead qualification for
Lead
outbound
qualification,
sales.
not even
Yes.
generation.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to get leads from somewhere,
Yep.
put it here, and then this is basically a cron job which runs and will call everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's
So like an outbound call center service.
So then you all are using Twilio to make calls.
yeah,
Yes.
it,
But switch to telephony right now.
yeah, there is one more cheaper service called Vonage. It
Yeah.
offers Indian services as well. So we are looking to switch to that as well.
Okay, and what is your end-to-end latency now when you're like when I say something? I saw the video. It
Yeah.
felt real time, but
Yeah, I don't know the actual number, but it is a bit more as compared to what it should be usually. So we are working on that as well.
so you haven't measured.
Yeah, I haven't measured.
Okay. Also, second question is how often does it hallucinate? And what is the because a lot of people are doing very similar stuff.
Yeah.
What is
USP.
like not the USP, like what how are you all ensuring that you all don't get replaced? Like customers is one thing, but you said you just have soft comments.
Yeah. So-
on the tech side, yeah.
The first one is hallucination. It hallucinates a lot, and we haven't gone through that because we thought first we will try to get the actual usage. Based on that, if it is doing too much, then we would work on that. The second question you asked, how we will ensure that we are not replaced. So our vision for this is not to be a voice company, but to build an agentic system for a particular niche. This is lead qualification and lead generation, right? So we are kind of targeting this vertical where we will
Sales
build
vertical.
agents to generate the leads, score those leads, and reach out to those leads using. This is one of the cold calling. So it will be using call operations. The
Right.
other one is cold mailing. These two niche we are targeting.
So cold mailing and cold
Cold
calling.
calling, yeah. So to target the niche of outbound sales.
So
But
you're not a voice agent call company.
no, it's not a voice
You're
company.
a lead qualification and lead gen agentic company.
You can
Yes.
call outbound sales agent.
Sales vertically.
Sales vertical.
Yeah.
And you said that you were a no-code tool compared to all the competitors. Right?
Yeah.
The competitors you spoke about, are they also specifically lead qualification?
No, they are not lead generation. They are mostly voice companies, and they are they kind of provide APIs to the other businesses to build their
So
solution.
it's just like 11 Labs competitor.
Yeah, kind of.
Not a fair comparison.
Not a actual competitor, but
Yeah, they're like building their custom voice LLMs and stuff. So
Right,
they're
right,
pure
right.
and pure voice.
they are developer centric.
And last question, have you all looked into Agentforce?
Agent Force?
Yeah.
No.
So
Is it-
you know Salesforce, right?
Yeah.
So Salesforce's next big bet is Agentforce, which is
Okay.
basically what you're doing.
So we are competitor with them.
Yes.
Cool.
$1 billion company.
Yeah.
Do you know what Synthflow is?
Synthflow.
Synthflow.
Synthflow. I think it's a voice something.
It's a no-code AI phone call system with voice agents.
Okay.
Can we do a demo?
Can
A live
call
demo.
us? Yeah.
We are actually we are left with one small trouble in the web app, so might not be possible. to
Okay,
do that.
but it doesn't have to be now.
I
it
can
also be-
I can come there.
Yeah.
I can
It
come
can
one
also
more
be
day.
today, like anytime after.
What
the-
if-
after you just-
What if I try some other day? Like I'm coming on Saturday as well. So if possible, that
Yeah, sure. This has to be a phone call, right?
here, right?
Can you?
No, I mean, it's a phone call.
You can
Okay,
just
okay. I will give phone call
You
tomorrow.
can call us.
I will call you.
Yeah.
Last question. Is there any trade secret that you have figured out with regards to the tech stack in terms of voice agents? Because it's particularly new, right? Like 6 months that
Yep.
हुआ है.
I guess yeah.
What have you figured out which other people have not?
It's nothing new like that.
we've not got the capital or the time to experiment so much, because as you said, we are new, right? 6 months just getting the product to MVP, and like we built all of this like 12,000, 10,000 rupees only.
It was built in
Yeah.
like November or December, but then I had exams, so I stopped for some time. And then,
So what are the other companies doing wrong in terms of the tech? Like,
see,
you
I
figure out
feel
this is-
I feel that in this space they are mostly developed. They are mostly focused on quality of agents, like voice and all. But where it will be used, it will be used in businesses. So they are not business centric. They are mostly developer centric. So I think the key problem right now is adoption, ease of adoption for businesses. So we are kind of focusing on that to build it in such a way that businesses can ready-made use it. I mean, you don't need an extra developer to like implement in your workflow.
Especially the pricing. If you see right now, 8 rupees if we convert into rupees, and all of those companies, all right. Although we're same to competition, India it's a lot, because you put a manual labor, it'll be done in 2 rupees, right? So we're targeting a rupee. As I said, the partnership was contingent that.
But you don't. So you don't control the price at any level because you don't own the LLM.
Right.
You don't own the GPU running it. You're just a interface combining all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that argument.
Actually, we are thinking of switching to alternative tech. Like instead of using GPT's LLM, we can use a small language model, but train them on specifically call data. So one of the company which we mentioned, Traffic Radius, they said that they have a huge data set
They have
of
20 lakh
calls.
calls,
Cold calls.
recorded
So-
data that they're ready to give just so that it's good for them
So yeah.
when we
Right.
give them the product.
Right.
So when we train a small language model on
But you don't think 11 AI and
Labs
etc. are
LLMs are mostly commoditized.
Yeah, but if I would take the example of 11 labs,
Right.
like I don't think today voice models are in that sense commoditized. It's all private. So what Gemini has is private, what OpenAI has is private. And there are a lot of companies which are kind of targeting this. So if you all are building on top of infrastructure of other people, then I don't think you control prices. That's not a fair argument.
Sure, we will work on this again then.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I love that you all are actually doing this. Is the backend part written in Python?
JavaScript plus Python. So I'm actually using LLM function calling to.
Understood, but how do you? So when I get the call from one end, how does the RTB packet or the voice packet reach?
There's a
the
WebSocket connection which sends the voice to
Understood.
transcribe.
So the one edge API will send you the RTB packet.
Yes.
You base64 it and send it over. And so.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I have one question for you. I'm from the business side of it, because your whole argument was how you are business centric. I'm a business centric. Like I own business. Okay, I'm a doctor. I'm a pediatrician. I own 2 hospitals, one in Kandivali, one in Delhi. We have around 150 beds. Most of our calling is done by reception. Okay, so people will call. They'll say, "मुझे Dr. Vishal Jha का appointment चाहिए." Then they would know Dr. Vishal Jha is not here. Dr. Vishal Jha is here at Malpani Venture. Then the reception would tell them, "Dr. Vishal Jha is not available. Dr. P.T. Sembal is available."
Okay.
Would you want that? Then they'll think. Then they'll reply back. So it's much more nuanced in terms of languages that my patient should call. They might speak in Marathi, Hindi, English, whatever. There's a lot of company-specific data. Like my hospital would know that if Dr. Vishal Jha on which days is he available, is not available in who are the replacements. तो बच्चों के डॉक्टर भी बोलेंगे, पेडियाट्रिशियन भी बोलेंगे और कुछ कंप्लेंट भी बोलेंगे. Then they have to figure out. They just tell 3-year-old, मतलब मेरा 3 साल का बच्चा, उसको डॉक्टर को दिखाना है. I have not mentioned the word pediatrician और बच्चों के डॉक्टर.
Okay.
So, are you anywhere close to getting all these nuances fitted in your?
Sure. I will tell you. So when you will upload your knowledge base, you will mention.
So knowledge base कितना extensive कितना, because
You will just give a brief overview of your clinic and your profession and all. Okay. And then you can attach your calendar link, your all the schedules and all to this agent. So there is not right now current feature, but we can implement that where we will use LLM function calling to check your schedule based on the customer query. And
actually doing more than that, because they're just telling कि मेरे 2 साल का बच्चा है, उसको खांसी आ रही है. तो you might want to ship them to pediatrician, but when they say 2 साल का बच्चा है, उसके कान से पस निकल रहा है, you might want to ship them to ENT. Now is your model? I'm sure it would not be trained as of now. Does it have any plan to be trained in that anytime soon? Because my receptionist would do that. Would you be able to?
So I said about knowledge base, right? I told you to mention your profession as well. So based on that profession, AI agent can judge that but this person will be suitable.
From
for
my
this.
company side, I'll give you this is a pediatrician, this is an ENT. The model's job is to identify that what the patient is saying, वो क्या primary issue है. It has to be built very specific. Someone who will build it for healthcare would only solve it. कि when they say कि कान से पस आ रहा है, that is ENT, and when they say बच्चे को खांसी आ रहा है, that is pediatrician. That is more of your model rather than me briefing you.
Correct. So right now we are just seeing early traction users, right? So this is a very industry specific thing, as you're saying, healthcare. So depends on where we are getting more traction. We'll double down on that sector. Right now we don't have any traction.
Similar problem you would face in all the sectors. Like my point was this.
We have to be specific. The classification is modified now. So when you have situations like this, those can be very well handled by general LLMs. Like that classification can be done. I'm sure like that tool calling is there in the current make a few parameters, but it's not as far.
It can be done.
It can be done.
I have a question. So, scam calls are a big thing, and TRAI has, as a regulating body, has quite a few things to say about it. You guys might have heard about caller ID. Caller ID on phone calls. That's coming. You don't need Truecaller anymore after a certain point of time because TRAI will mandate caller ID being included with outbound calls. Right. And a lot of robocalls go through. Bajaj Finance, I'm sure everyone in this room has interacted with it.
Yeah, I don't have.
Okay. Or Lodha. I hate Lodha. If a regulation is passed, because this is India, this is a highly regulated country.
But do you think it's a growing market overall?
In India,
Yes,
especially as well.
it's growing 15% compounded in India and globally 12%.
Yeah, and even
India में ज़्यादा है?
mostly
Yes.
for
No, wait.
CAGR you're saying?
Huh?
CAGR you're saying?
Yes.
Last year it grew by 12%.
Last year it did. Global grew from 9 to 12%, somewhere around that. India grew by 15.
Last year.
Yeah.
and also India is known for making phone calls.
Yeah,
calls
That is true. Call center.
And this TRA regulation is heavy in the US. That's why you're not going there at all. If you see, India has some regulation, but this is okay. So there are countries like Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia that have no regulations. Like absolutely no, you can do whatever you want, sort of.
So you want to go there and do whatever you want.
And then kind of lose regulations, not
Yeah.
strictly as.
Hey, but as a question, then would you to kind of circumvent those regulations, then open up a subsidiary there, call through there? What's your plan to counteract regulations if there are regulations placed?
In India,
Yeah.
that will be a question we'd have to solve when it comes out.
Because
But yeah.
this stuff keeps happening here. Yeah.
I saw the TRA stuff, and that's why we stood away from the US.
नहीं, fair enough. But देख लो एक बार. It's an important thing to take a look at as well. You guys can be making the best tech ever, and then the government comes in and throws a spanner in the works. You can't do anything about it.
Even one of the customers said that there could be issue while making robocalls where it would be identified as a spam or maybe people will perceive as a fraud and all. So yeah, we will definitely go through it.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
The next right now is online.
So, that is accepted.
After that, we just all do one question.
Sorry. Works. Now I think Dipali is on.
Yeah. Hi, Dipali. Are you here?
Hey Shlok, yeah, I'm here. I just need like 2 minutes to set things up. Can I just, is that okay?
Oh yeah, sure. Begin when you.
Okay, cool. I'll just set things up 1 second. Hey Shlok, could you I'm I'm trying to get in from the laptop as well. Could you accept that? Thanks.
So whenever
I can.
and you picked the other person, right, on the left. Okay, now I understand how it is.
Can we stream it if possible? Is there an HDMI?
There's no HDMI for
It's
the-
being streamed, bro.
It's happening on this thing.
Shlok,
Yeah,
I'm ready. Should I turn on my camera? If that's better, right?
yeah, you can absolutely.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Hmm. Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are.
Yeah, you can begin. You're muted, Deepali.
My camera is here. My screen is here, so I'll be looking here. Right? I hope that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So, hi, I'm Dipali, founder of Khel Club, and we are rebuilding India's relationship with sport. Let's start with a simple truth. India does not have a fitness problem, it has a consistency problem. I'll get into that, but before that, let's talk about a few stats. The size of the Indian preventive healthcare market today in India is $197 billion. More than half of that, which is roughly 98%, which is really 51%, is $98 billion, is just fitness and wellness. Post COVID, we're spending more than ever to stay healthy. There's been a 2x growth in the last 4 years, and yet more than 50% of gym goers aren't regular. New Year resolutions drive 12.5% of fresh gym memberships, but 80% of those don't even last 5 months. So what we're talking about is that people want to be active, they just don't want to do it in ways that feel like a punishment. So our hypothesis is that in order for India to be healthier, we don't need more gyms. What we need is a culture shift towards fitness, and that's what we're trying to do. So now India has always loved cricket, but today we are seeing something new. Sports like badminton, pickleball, paddle, etc. are growing rapidly. And the interesting thing is that people are not playing for trophies here. People are playing because they see sport as a fun way to be active. Now, in countries like US, Australia, sports has long been a part of everyday life. And now we are seeing that here too, but it's still very early. Participation in sports in India is still at what, like 4%, which shows that there's enough room to grow. Now, globally, sports tech market is projected to cross $102 billion by 2032. In India, platforms like Huddle, Kelomore, Playo have grown 3x post-COVID, which means that this shift towards sports is already happening. But what is missing is a system that can organize, scale, and accelerate this momentum, and that's the infrastructure we are building. So, how are we doing this? So what we realized, we started with digitizing operations. Because unless you solve for operations, we realized nothing scales. Today, if you want to run a local tournament, that means juggling Google Form, UPI screenshot, Excel sheets, ton of WhatsApp text. It's messy, it's manual, and it burns people out. That's why we built Hill Club competition management software. One platform, end to end, from registration, seeding, automated schedules, live scoring, and we're going to an extent that we are even incorporating AI for poster generation and to create all the marketing assets as well. But keeping all the management part aside, the real unlock here is that now every match creates clean, structured data. So who showed up, how are they performing? We're not just building a software, this is our attempt to make sports stickier. So what happens once we collect all this data, right? So this is the flywheel we built. which is like tournaments generate structured data. Data powers player ratings. Ratings help with retention and progression. Once there's progression, it builds leagues, and leagues attracts fans, stories, and sponsors. And this is not something that we have come up with. This is exactly how IPL was built, and the culture of cricket has been built in India. So we launched in December, starting with pickleball. We're now live in 5+ cities. We've powered over 25+ tournaments, have scored 2,300 matches, and we have verified data of 1,500+ players. So ever since we launched this, we've been in business. We started getting paid from day one. So how are we? So Khel Club competition management is just one part of what we want to achieve. I want to take you through our larger vision, and that's in 4 phases. The first phase is where we digitize operation, which is management software, scoreboard technology, players have their verified profiles. The second step is that we launch our own tournaments to accelerate participation in the country in racket sports at the moment. Third is once we have enough data, we launch our skill-based rating and ranking platform for racket sports, in which we know will help in progression. Once this foundation is set, our larger goal is we want to create these modular feeder leagues that help. That what we realize that in countries like in countries abroad, where there's an ecosystem of football, cricket, there's football and basketball, you would know there's like a series of leagues happening. So there's NBA, and there's NBA Junior League, then there's NBA Draft, then there's NBA G League, then there's NBA. So what we realized that in order for any sport to grow, until and unless this system of feeder leagues are there, the culture of that sport won't spread. So our goal is we want to make sport massier, at the same time create this ecosystem of feeder leagues which is enabled by tech. But we don't want to do it today because that requires a lot of work with respect to foundations. So we're currently focusing on foundation. Eventually we want to create our own IP, intellectual property of leagues. This is our 18 months roadmap. In 18 months we want to go from like launching our platform is already launched. We want to go even pan India. We want every tournament to have our software. In phase 2 we want to go global. Then in phase 3 we want to host our own events, and in phase 4 obviously in 18 months we want to launch our first in national level rating and ranking platform.
Deepali, you have 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, sure. So this is my last slide anyway. This is our team. I'm the founder. I have an excellent CTO. We have 2 advisors. One of them is a founder of a deep tech company called Solinas, and other is the founder of Crick Heroes. And ever since we have launched, we have already partnered with Jammu Kashmir Pickleball Association as their technology partners. We're already in talks with Uttar Pradesh Pickleball Association as well as Delhi Pickleball Association to handle their entire tech and data. And yeah, so the best part about the team is each person is impact driven. We don't care about money in the short term. We want to make an impact, and that's what we're building towards. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Deepali. We can begin with the questions. Hi, Udit, are you there?
Yes, guys, I am here. And yeah, actually, Dipali, first of all, yeah, congrats, because this is something even I have faced in, my life. Since past 2-3 years, I have been weightlifting. And like a year ago now, I came to a point where weightlifting and going to the gym, it was so hectic for me that I needed some kind of sports to transition into. That's when I started playing cricket. And when you address the problem now, it was exactly what I faced. Maybe I could relate more than anybody. I have faced the same problem as well. But I have a few questions related to it. The first one being the tech, like who is developing it? How much control do you have over it? Like, is this all in-house, or you had freelancer or agency built it?
No, so everything is in-house. So I have my engineer, my CTO, right? I handle the product. I've designed the entire product. He
Hmm.
has coded it. So
Okay.
together, two people, we've built this entire thing. And Divanshu has been there for day one to guide us.
Okay.
But yeah, it's everything is in house.
Okay. And how are you organizing these events and partnering with the people who is
So,
reaching to the
so,
customers?
so how did this happen? So I'll be honest. When we launched in December, it was just as an experiment to see what is the feedback we get. The
Okay.
day we launched, organizers started approaching us by themselves.
Okay.
Because what we have built right now with competition management software, it's a very utility product, right?
Right.
So it's like one of those things like when you're trying to scrape leads from Apollo, right? Before Apollo or instantly any all these softwares were there, you were doing it manually, right? The moment these things came, you're like, I just want to outsource it because it's such a headache, right? So once people saw the value that we were bringing on the table, from day one we were getting paid, right? So people started approaching ourselves. We've got a lot of inbound leads, even associations with such as JKPA, because now we know we have a good we know Huddle, we know people from Kalo Mode. All these people have connected us with associations, and because we are present in a lot of these tournaments, and people from different associations are also there. So the moment they see that, they're like, we want this, because सब अभी paper pen पे हो रहा है. Nothing, वो foundation बनेगा ही कैसे जब तक nothing is being tracked, right? And there's one global rating platform that exists. It's called Duper, DUPR, in pickleball.
Okay.
And what we've realized is कि Duper जब से आया है, what the impact that it has done, that people now care about their Duper rating. Like every tournament में they want, if we don't upload their match data on Duper and they don't see a shift in their rating, they get after our lives, because that's what helping them grow, right? So it's like the two kinds of people. Some people who start pickleball, they want to play now competitively, but then the other people get into pay and play, right?
Right.
So the two sets of people, and we don't want to just focus on elite athletes. We want to create this system where sports is for everyone, right? That's why we started with pickleball, because pickleball has that advantage of age agnostic, skill agnostic. Anyone can play.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, cool. And also, you say that you are, generating revenue from day one. So, are you generating revenue or are you cash positive? Like, are you profitable?
We are मतलब there's barely any expense. It's just my engineer that I pay a very minimum salary, and I am but the thing is, I'm not taking anything right now, right? And I'm also working like freelance somewhere to pay and do the expenses, right? To
Okay.
make sure we keep on surviving. So
Okay.
but our expenses are very minimal. We're very lean.
Okay. And you told me that you are raising 1 crore rupees for
Yeah.
for covering the next 18 months. So, can you quickly give a split of how those funds will be, utilized?
Yeah, for sure. So, the first thing that we want to do, like I mentioned, was in phase one. We want to, अभी हम लोग 5 cities में हैं, and right now the tech that we have developed is good, but right now we are so there's two things in our product. One is the organizer dashboard, and one is the referee app, right? And
Okay.
organizer dashboard is a web app. The referee app is a mobile app on Play Store, right? Now, what we've realized, to in order to make the experience super seamless, we have to go full app,
Okay.
right? So we want to our Abhi right now, what's happening that we every time, like for example, a tournament is happening in Hyderabad, a tournament is happening in Mumbai. So we are always like we there in case something happens, right? Sometimes कोई bug आ गया or anything that happens, right? So abhi product we want to make it super solid ki the moment we scale, we are able to scale super aggressively. Abhi we're not able to scale aggressively because of all these issues, because we're just two people managing this, right? So
Agreed.
one is product development, and uske baad right now if I can also show you through the product so there's a lot of tournament management software already there in the market, and they're free, but people are not using it because they've not cracked the pain points. जो हमने पहले 15 tournaments करे हैं, I have personally been there in those tournaments and understood each and every pain point. That's why the moment an organizer uses a software, they're like, I want to use this more because this is making my life easier.
Okay.
Plus, but abhi kya hai, we know there is more scope of innovation even by incorporating AI and all. So, we want to really create a product because we know more people are gonna come up with this. Right now, we have a first mover advantage, but we know more people are gonna come up with this the moment we are talking to them. But so we want to have a solid head start कि हमारा because we're super focused on innovation, we reach that level that anyone who wants to come, it'll take them time to even reach there.
Okay.
So that's phase one. Then obviously once we make all these things are on place, we want to like expand to like internationally. Then then the third phase is that we want to launch our like own events. We want like Khel Club tournaments, Khel Club clinic, Khel Club social events, and also we want to focus more on marketing. Right now we have like very jugadu ways of building our communities, which we are doing right now. But we want to have like a solid brand name. Like Khel Club is known for sports, right? So we want to focus on that. And the last phase that we want to go in is that at the end of the day, all of these things ka hai matlab to create our own national level rating and ranking platform, because marketing and data it together help us to create that brand value that every person would say that I need to have my Khel Club ID.
Okay. So, just to understand this, do players use Khel Club also to register?
Exactly. So players, so right now, like I mentioned, abhi हमारे पास organizer और referee है. We've not built the player section, right? So
Okay.
at the end of the day, player will be using this also because they'll have their own profile. They can track their data. In future, if they want to score, they can. But that is something we'll have to experiment because हमारे racket sports में disadvantage ये है जो cricket में there's one person who can score. Racket sports में अभी कोई score करने वाला नहीं है. Right, so who is ensuring that scoring is happening even when like we are playing in a very like a fun way, right?
Right.
So
Right.
वो चीज है वो हमें crack करना है, but player का पूरा entire profile है that is there in the pipeline.
Okay, cool. And what is the pricing model?
So currently we are charging like a percentage on registration fee or a fixed fee. So for example, per tournament is roughly like 10,000.
Okay. Okay, cool. So players don't have, you just charge from the person organizing the
Currently,
event.
yes. Currently
Okay.
B2B, right? Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay. It was a nice product. Like it is a nice product. I had a lot of questions, but I guess we have time restrictions. Okay. But yeah, decent, extremely great product, which is solving a problem which I have faced. So yeah,
Okay.
thumbs
Thank
up.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everyone, you guys can, have your questions.
Hi Dipali, can you hear us?
Yeah, Shlok, I can hear you.
Yeah. That was yes, but okay.
Okay.
Yes. So first of all, like some basic feedback on pitch deck. I think we all feel it was a bit all over the place.
Okay.
From the sense of where it took us a lot of discussion to actually understand what the product actually is.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, it's a question. Is it more like Khelmore, where it's a discovery platform for you to find people to play with? Or is it more operational driven, where you're all trying to incubate these tournaments and then
So
what's game today?
Right.
Yeah. What's your plan of action in the next 6 months, or what you're doing now?
Right.
For the platform, I tried logging in and that did not work.
Got it. So we're not like Kilomore at all. We are a platform for organizers who want to organize tournaments, right? So it could be schools who want to do inter-school tournaments. It could be colleges. It could be a local organizer. It could be an association, right? All these people who are doing like a lot of racket sports tournaments, they operationally they're not able to manage it, right? There's a referee, there is a organizer, and every conversation, all the tracking is happening on pen and paper right now. So we are first solving for operation for all these people, right? So this is what we are today. In the cities, we want to be able to scale aggressively, that every tournament plus also we right now restricted to just pickleball. We want to move across all racket sports.
So this is for organizers specifically, helping them organize tournaments. And can you point to how you solve that?
Yeah, sure. So how are we solving that? I'll list down a few pain points of the current organizers. Right? They want to take registration. They're doing it through Google Forms.
I understand all of that. How do you solve for communication?
How are we solving that? Is one, for example, let's say I'll talk about a very simple problem. Let's say I know मेरे टूर्नामेंट में X नंबर ऑफ टीम्स आ रही है, वो X नंबर ऑफ टीम्स को मेरे को कितने पूल्स में डिवाइड करना है, राइट, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ सीडिंग, राइट. Really करना पड़ा है. Our software automates that entire thing. All we need to do is just enter the number of teams, right? Enter the names and details. Our platform will automatically populate them into multiple pools. I can even show you if you want the product.
Yeah, can you show that to us?
Tournament planning software as well then.
Sorry?
Tournament planning software as well.
Yes, I'll just show you 1 second.
Yeah, that would be great.
It's a B2B basically. It's a B2B basically. With
Right. 1 second.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Yes, 1 second. Right. So you see this dashboard. This is
Yes.
organizer's dashboard, right? And once you do, you can come here, add a tournament, whether that's a single tournament, series tournament. I'll not get into that. This is just plain registration, right? So the moment you do this, your tournaments get created.
Right.
Now you see this category, right? Now in my category, I have certain number of teams, correct? Now, do you see this configuration thing, right?
Yeah.
This thing, all the organizer did was went to teams and entered the teams here.
Correct.
After that, how they had to be divided, right? In how many pools? What's the best way to do that? How many teams are advancing per pool, right? How do you want to do the matchups, right? You want to do A versus B, C versus D, A, D, B, C, right? How do you want to do that? All this our system provides them.
Correct.
Once you hit approve, then all the organizers has to do approve. कि हो गया कि हाँ, I'm fine with it. Now let's say कि they're like कि नहीं, I don't like the way you've created pools, right? So I want to move people around because they're like कि it'll be a more like a better way to organize pools. So they can even move people from here to here,
Correct.
right? Cancel.
Okay, and it's so like.
So उसके बाद जो भी आपका हुआ, so the moment you hit approve, fixtures are created, right? अभी fixtures आपका the moment fixtures are pool A के fixtures बन गए, pool B के fixtures बन गए, today, right? Today, that's the 80 months में हमें 80 months में करना है. नहीं, we want to go
We want
big.
to have an app like Halo More that people can download and they can just come on.
I mean, Halo More is more like you want to put
Yeah,
some more
it's like
venue
a
booking.
my show.
But you have an app where you can basically then say कि I'm playing at this tournament and your ranking gets updated.
Correct, right. मतलब what we've seen कि D2C पे B2C जाने के लिए पहले आपको वो want create करना पड़ेगा, right? That like अभी जब global Duper भी जब आया, initially no one knew about Duper. Every organizer started now using like Duper ID. कि you need to give your Duper ID. The moment that stickiness happened, now people are automatically downloading Duper and they want to see their rating, how I'm improving after every platform.
Right.
They literally tell.
One last question is, you've done 15 tournaments, right?
25.
25 tournaments, and how much money have you all made, and what do you look at the from revenue point of view? Like, how do you think this makes money?
So how we are currently making money is that we have two models. One is fixed fee model and one is a percentage on registration fees.
Correct.
Right. So entire हमारा tournament का एक tournament से we are about to make like worst case 5,000 to 10,000. But 10,000 it was what we've been charging because we're not just offering software right now. We're also offering like every support they need.
Right.
So 10,000, 25 tournaments. It's like 2.5L is what we हमने जब 6 weeks में launch किया था December में, in that only we made 1.2 lakhs.
Understood.
But point is we still that money is like right now everything
No,
is being used for
100%.
business.
To understand the economics of how much does it cost,
Right.
and in general, how 10,000 is like the management fee which you make. What would this be like a paid tournament where people are paying money?
Yeah.
Prize pool, and what would the prize pool look like?
So all these price pools right now, the tournaments we're doing, it's like ranges from like around two, like they say price pool of about 2 lakhs, right? But it's like 15,000 is going to one category, 20,000 is going to another category, and you would like today people are charging around 4,000 to 2,000, 2,000 to 4,000 for per team or per person.
Correct. So right now, you all are focused on just building software infrastructure for organizers to manage all of this.
Right. Like for हमारा, because it's not even about managing this tournament, it's more about data collection, right? We want to collect a lot of data and at the same time provide value to the organizer and make it so easy for the organizer that they want to use this software to put all the data.
Correct.
So what data is what makes the unlock for us.
Understood.
You could use this for the birthday party events where
That's okay. Oh, okay.
like the
Sorry?
people, that's what I'm thinking about. Like let's say kiसी का birthday you want to like organize a pickleball event for like let's say 10 people.
Right.
You book it over there.
That's what
on a venue.
That's
that
the
is
idea.
listed there.
Yeah, and they partner with the venue, they handle all the management. Right? Just show up and you could have shown us the dashboard. And
So just like a pitch tip, I think had you shown us the product first,
Okay.
a much clearer idea
Okay.
on what you were building. Yeah.
Got it. Sure. No feedback taken.
Yeah.
I'll work on that.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Let's start. I'll just open the deck. My main startup is not this. It's actually a smart home startup where I build devices like these. These devices sits behind the switchboard, and anything on that switchboard becomes smart. Let's say today you had to turn these lights and AC on through your phone, through your Apple on. You put this device behind the switchboard, no need to change any wiring, and then you can use it directly on your phone as if these lights and AC is smart. Now I started smart homes 3 years back, where I iterated on designs where in market it solves every problem that the interior designers, people who are using smart homes are facing. Now I'm at a point that I was at a point where I had to scale it, where I had to make 1,000, 2,000 devices a month. So I had to either two options to manufacture it, either outsource it to Indian contract manufacturers who would want the design to actually make the devices, and also in China, which is a little bit cheaper, but then I risk of losing IP. Second problem here is I'm tied with MOQs. Let's say any contract manufacturer needs to earn profit and he has to have a MOQ, let's say 5,000 units. I only have a cash reserve to do 1,000, for example. So should I not launch the device? So I went. The third option is put your own factory, have in-house manufacturing. In that thing, you are not tied to MOQs. You are still iterating faster than any legacy company, but the amount of investment that it requires to make a factory is very high. So a lot of Indian companies don't do it; they manufacture in China. So I wanted to keep it bootstrapped till I'm like extremely at a point where I need funding. So I went in a mode where did a thought experiment where if the concept of funding did not exist, how would I make this still? How would I still make it function? How would I still make 1,000 devices a month? There was one option where I had the previous knowledge of making machines and electronics. So let's just make the machine which assembles the PCBs for me. So I just did that, spent almost 6 to 7 months and worked almost day and night, realized it, how to assemble PCBs and brought the machine together. What it does is, I'll explain it to you with an example. Let's say you have an idea to sell a digital clock. You see a market, you have to sell a digital clock. It has three components: a display, a PCB, and a casing. Luckily, India has figured out casing. There are a lot of injection molding companies who are selling it at a very, very comparable, very cheap rate than China. You have figured out the casing. Display, you purchase it from China. Now comes the PCB. Either you get the PCB assembled in China, again the same thing. You get an electronics engineer, design the PCB, and then comes to a point where, let's say, you have to start small. You have to sell only 100 to do a product market fit. What do you do then? So you go to the market and buy the machines. Now in market, this machine is called pick and place machine. So in market, this machine would cost you, and nobody in India is doing it. This machine imported from China would cost you at 4.5 lakhs starting, and that is a basic cost. So you see, there are two heads in this. Yeah. That means at a time it can pick two components. What it does is, I'll show it to you by actually doing it. So it takes two components in and then places two components at the same time on the PCB. What happens is, if you compare it 1-to-1 with that 4.5 lakhs, this is still way ahead in terms of spec. It does 1500 CPS. Placing the components. The thing is, if I had to assemble PCBs on this desk, I can do it with other desktop manufacturing. I can actually assemble the PCBs and then I have a PCB. I'll just have a casing, put the PCB right in the case, and that's it. You have a product. This reduction of friction from having to actually contact 10 people and then getting your product right in your hand is why India and China is able to do. If you visit China, I actually did visit Shenzhen last year during May, and I realized China has a lot of micro factories which employs these type of machines. They don't have a lot of big machines. They have smaller, similar type of desktop-based machines. That is why they are not tied to MOQs. If you tell them I need only 1,000, they'll actually do it. For them, it's not a very big task to do it because they have access to these machines. I am planning to launch it at 2.5 lakhs, competing China, where
if you purchased it from China itself, I'm not talking about the cost in India. Talking the cost where you procure from China, that their cost is 2.5 lakhs. I'll be selling it in India at 2.5 lakhs. And technically, and this machine is mostly 3D printed, 100% 3D printed. So you see orange, these parts and the black parts, these are all 3D printed. So I'm not tied with injection molding. So even if let's say some part break, I can actually just 3D print and send it back. All of the components are made in terms that let's say there has to be a service because it's a mechanical movement. There has to be some service. So everything is modular. You see this PCB, if this breaks, you just remove it, replace it. That's it. It starts working. The other thing is it has dual camera vision. Just about the specs.
ऊपर नीचे दोनों है camera basically.
Yeah, there are dual camera vision. I'll tell you why. So this is homing sequence where it knows 0, 0. It will, so if there is an error, there is a, so you see there is little bit of an, I have purposely did an error.
It's a zeroing error, right?
Yeah. It will check where the center point is, automatically correct any error in the, so I brought it from my home, I kept it here. I don't need to do any calibration now. I can just start making the parts. And it will calibrate the nozzles also. There are 2 nozzles.
Very similar to a 3D printer.
Huh?
Very similar to a 3D printer.
Yeah, technically similar. Yeah,
Like the whole
XYZ machine. Yes, very similar to 3D printer, and that's how the machine works. Right now, there's something on the nozzle which is not working.
So does the nozzle heat up?
No. No. So I'll explain how does it work. So, and the other thing is, in the competitor machine, the 4.5 lakhs machine, what happens is you get parts like this. You get
A real tape.
Huh?
It's a real tape thing. No?
Yeah. So you get parts like this. For example, these are LEDs, right? So you see a 5,000 reel comes off a 5,000 units ka reel. So you have to every LED has to be incremented after it is picked. This feeder itself increments every LED ahead. I'll just show you. So I just need to place it like this.
That's a reel.
Yeah.
These are LED modules. What is this?
Yeah, so these are LEDs. I'll just show you. Yeah, one second.
Same kind of LED strip that you get Diwali.
I'll just tell you how that works. Right? So it's placed right now. Right. So it's loaded basically. So the great point. Let's say you had to Diwali may we have that LED strip, right? So the strip is PCB, the circuit board. Yeah. On that LEDs are placed. Let's say you have to make that. Diwali is there, you see an opportunity that you can sell a good amount of it, right? You buy the LEDs. LEDs come in this type of reels, and you get the strip made, a PCB made. You place that strip on the machine. This machine will make that LED strip for you. It'll pick the LED, place it on that strip, and solder it.
And you like PCB.
I'll explain the soldering part later. So let's say
you put it in the kiln, right? You put it in the kiln then.
No,
right?
you'll put it in an oven.
The kiln oven.
Yeah. So yes, and it will increment the reel automatically.
Understood.
So it's self-feeding. Matlab
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
The component you place there, that's what pulls the thing.
Yes. So so you see there I did find and it detected the feeder automatically after I placed here on 25 number slot. There are total 50 slots. That means if a PCB has 50 components, automatically it will place all the 50 components right away. If there are more, then you have these strip feeders where you put the components manually in case there are more components. Now,
are there open source drivers for all these, or did you write?
not all of these. some of them is open source. Let's say firmware. Firmware basically for the machine, not the open source pick and play software.
I meant this. So you connected.
No, this is manually coded.
So you wrote the kernel.
Yeah, for feeder it's manually coded for it to work. I'll just come to the pitch now. So the electronics manufacturing market is growing almost 35% a year. From that, PCBA market, PCB assembly market, which is mostly going to China, is growing by 33%. Now that there are tariffs on China, at that point, India has a great opportunity to get that market. I am actually targeting customers who are producing in China and then getting them. So before, entry to this market was extremely difficult. You needed expertise of the machines and then you needed everything. This software is also so easy that any person who knows English with watching a 10-minute video can operate this machine in 30 minutes. So that is the beauty of it. Now to capture this market, you need machinery. In the end, you need to automate everything. Now, in a traditional factory, how do we scale up? How do we scale the machines? The machine's height is 4 feet and the width is 5 feet by 5 feet, right? So if you have to scale it, assembly line you have to scale, you have to do it in horizontal direction, right? In that, you are increasing your factory rental cost, you are increasing operational cost because you have more area, you need to cool more air, you need more people to operate, you need more people to keep it clean. Now, in the same area, if I have to put 5 assembly lines, I will not change my office. What I will do is I will stack one above the other. I will scale it vertically. This before is not been done, not in India at least. I don't think it is done outside also, but with this, you can scale it vertically. Basically, this length of desk, there are 3 machines now. So to make a successful PCB, you need a PCB. So this is a blank PCB. You can just hold it so you'll get a feeling of it, how it looks.
And this is made in India?
No, the PCB design is made in India. Yeah, JLC PCB. Yeah. But you can make it in India also. There is a company called Lion Circuits which can make the PCBs. Now,
our PCB is also India, right?
Huh?
Our PCB, it's Gujarat.
Yeah, they don't have good specs. I'll come that later. So you see, PlayStation is written.
Yeah.
That is the PCB of the motherboard of this machine. That is what the machine is getting operated on. Now, what I'll do is, if I have to make hundreds of these, I'll put the PCB on the machine, load up the feeders with the parts, and that's how it's assembled. This is the assembled motherboard of the same thing.
How much time would it take to assemble?
10 minutes.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. I'll come to the point how many I can make it in a month.
In a factory, how much can you?
In a factory, they can technically do 100,000 a month with a machine which is like 2 crores ke aspas. But if you don't have that much demand, if you only are selling, let's say 50, that's it, you can do it.
So but that's not general purpose, right? It's very specific to the circuit board you're building.
No, it's general purpose. That's what I'll show you.
It's the same principle. It's the same principle, 2 axes. It's
But
just
then
a
it's
lot
got
faster,
a lot
more
of-
refined. Yeah.
Does it have a lot of?
Yeah, it would have more.
So it does it in parallel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when you start small, your investment doesn't have to exceed in crores. So my vision is basically to bring factory on a desk. That is my vision. Now to do that, you need 3 machines technically for actually 100% PCB assembly. How do you do that is, first you get one of the most expensive of those machines is pick and place. What I'm planning is to have a complete assembly line in just 5 to 8 lakhs. That is not possible in India. If you try your best at maximum, because I wanted to do it for my own smart home startup. I calculate the bare minimum cost, everything by myself, 12 lakhs. That is for somebody who is bootstrapped, who's like very young, 20, 21 years old, very difficult to get the money if you're not rich. So, other thing is, as I told, let's say, I'll give you an example. Everybody has heard about Atomberg.
Yes.
Yeah. So Atomberg got the PCBs designed here, did the R&D here. For assembly, they sent it to China. They had a very good contract. They had to, like, that company will only make their PCBs.
Right.
They are not able to, NDA tha and they don't want to sell. Now, you know GM and Havells. if you see their BLDC fans, they are one-to-one identical to Atomberg.
Because that's IP transfer.
They didn't even. The company actually said no. What happened is at the GM and Havells told the company, you form a new company, you are free to do whatever you want in that, and that's how they actually copied their design. So
CMOs have that IP sharing issue. CMOs have a huge IP sharing issue.
CM?
Contract manufacturing
Yeah, exactly. So let's. I was speaking to Pixel Space for the machine. They saw it on Twitter. It went semi-viral. So Pixel Space ki team contacted, and if Pixel Space, who is a satellite manufacturer, who also does the electronics also.
Kshitij and everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they send it to China, China is 100% going to replicate it. That's how they actually got where they are right now, by replicating whatever they got for manufacturing. This right now, having this machine, now they are going to do it at their own office, right in front of their eyes.
Also, it cuts down on the iteration.
That is why they are actually planning. Before, if I had to make a assembled PCB, let's say if I had to get the motherboard assembled in my hand from my vision, it would take a month.
Right.
After designing is completed. Right now, it will come to days. So you get the PCBs made from India, Lion Circuit sends you in 4 days.
Designing the PCB would be the thing which takes the most time.
Yeah, that is the IP.
That will always.
That is all. That's
the
the
thing
design
for a
the
week.
most time.
Yeah.
Because assembly.
If you exclude that time, I'm not considering 1 month into designing.
Right.
I'm saying design is done. After that, it takes 1 month in India.
Because you're supposed to ship the design out.
You have to upload the design. They'll make it. Then shipping takes 10 days from China at least.
Okay.
Then you have to send it to PCBA, assembly. You only get PCB, the blank PCB that I showed you.
Right.
Then you have to send it for assembly. So there is a possibility that the contract manufacturer doesn't have that particular value car resistor.
Understood.
That particular microcontroller, and you have more days now left because he's also ordering it.
On the imported PCBs.
Huh?
Custom duties on the PCBs.
There's no custom duties. On the components also, there is no custom duties. There comes the third point. Now, if I have to make this, if I'm ordering from China assembled PCB, I have to pay custom duties, 15%, and then GST on it.
Right.
But if I'm ordering components, I'm ordering PCBs. No
You also
custom
need
duties.
something called a CHIMS, which is a chip import monitoring.
Chip is integrated ICs.
Yeah.
But if you have resistors and capacitors, there's no duties.
Okay, so those are just passive
Okay,
components.
So the only limitation today in India is that assembly is
difficult.
It's
very difficult.
I have all the spare parts I need. There
Yeah.
is PCB printing, which is there today. You mentioned.
Yeah.
So PCB printing is also sorted.
Correct.
The only reason people are sending it to China
Is
or
assembly.
buying Chinese pick and place machines is because they want to cut down on their iterations.
Correct. From a month to days.
So why not have something like just an idea? Obviously, I understand what you're saying, but why not just have Indian companies which do assembly?
Yeah, that's what
for
contract
cheap?
manufacturing they do. But
Yeah,
then they're tied to MOQs. Let's say.
Oh,
you
right.
So this version is, I think, 10th version, the one that you have in hand. The smart home device that I showed you, this is 18th version. If I didn't have assembly in-house,
you would have
every single time I had to order 10,000 PCBs.
Yeah.
Jab tak wo khatam nahi hota, I can't. That is the problem with legacy companies. Because they are tied to MOQs. Now
China has figured it out.
Yeah, China has figured it out. Now, if I have to compete in smart homes with GM, I can actually do it. I can compete in because I don't have to buy 4,000 components.
Right.
I can buy 100. I can still compete the cost. So that is a big thing.
Also, a very stupid question I have is, does simulation help? Like, I was assuming because there is such a big constraint, all of the software around it must have evolved so that you can have simulated PCBs.
Simulation works. Not, I would say, it helps you in 20% of the times, but it doesn't help you out of more than that. Unless you put it on the PCB, you just can't. Biggest of the biggest PCB designers struggle with it. Simulation can help you in a way that the values are mostly correct. But if you have to, let's say, if you MATLAB ho gaya, but if you have to turn an LED on by making your own logic, right? For let's say मैंने transistor array का कुछ method बनाया और वो और logic के through मेरे को कोई LED on करना है, that won't work in the simulation.
Yeah, I think for the benefit of everybody in this room, I have a few questions I want to ask you because
I'll just move ahead. This all I told. Now comes to how would a 5 to 8 lakhs would give you a complete product, right? So first thing you need a stencil printer, where you apply a solder paste on it on the PCB. So you see in this PCB, if you see there is a paste on it. Just rub it lightly, and you'll be able to get the grey color thing.
There's also conductive ink, right? जो लोग ऐसे apply करते हैं.
Yeah, but it has more resistance.
Yeah,
it can't be product. It can't be a product.
Production, yeah. This thing.
So this is a PCB which has a solder paste on it. Okay. Now you then after applying solder paste, you need to place components with the pick and place machine. After that, you need to solder it. Then you put it in a reflow oven. So you need all these three things. Otherwise, nothing is possible. I am making all three. I finished the design for reflow oven also. It's currently in prototype. I couldn't bring it today, but this also works because I have to use it. I'm making this because I have to use it. So the reflow oven also done. So PlayStation, basically I want to make it as a brand where if you have to make a desktop manufacturing thing, you come to me. You will have everything in shop. You buy it, you put an assembly line on your desk and start making. And you can make 10,000 PCBs a day. So that is the vision. And the plan is to create micro factories in all over India. What China did is basically empowered their whole country with ability to manufacture things. That is how this is a manufacturing hub. We have labor power, but we are not able to give them that access to machinery because more cost and all of that. But now when it's in front of your desk, when it looks like a machine that is not to be scared of, at that time people would want to approach it and then they would start using it. And that is my vision, to actually industrialize India by having these micro industries all over the country. So that is the pitch, factory on a desk.
Also, one last thing. You said all of this is 3D printed, right?
Yeah.
But if you were looking to sell 1,000 of these or
Yeah.
10,000 of these, you would probably then stop
Injection
doing 3D
molded?
printing.
Would you injection mold it?
No, I'm still not doing it. It's still cheaper to make it 3D printed than do injection
What
molding.
printer do you use? Like a bamboo labs?
Yeah, I have at least 3 printers. From that, all 3 are Ender 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
ठीक है.
It's cheaper to 3D print. It's cheaper to 3D print than.
Yes. So injection mold. So it's not just one injection mold. I would have to make injection mold for every single part. So cumulatively, it would cost me around 5 CR to at least come to a point where I'm injection molding.
And all of this is manually assembled.
Yes.
So when I buy it, or if someone.
So you get it in form of a kit. How Creality used to send 3D printers before.
Right.
So you see, there are these two. These are attached by the 2 screws on here and 2 screws on here.
Correct.
You remove that, and then there's a method where this plate becomes the base of it, and then it comes down to this size. And then when I ship it to you, just open it. You have the tools in it, assemble it, and
So
start
all
doing
of these parts are all manufactured in India, like excluding the electronics.
it. Yeah, even this build plate is laser cut in India only, right here.
Who makes the belts and the
That must be 3D printed by you, right? The belts.
no, the metal?
Oh, that's DIY pick and place, right?
What?
The
What
rails.
company manufactures the motors and the belts?
The motors right now are from China.
DIY pick and place.
Stepper.
Do you know which company makes the motor?
No.
Open PNP का hardware build guide में there are rails का DIY pick and place.
So these rails are called linear rails. These are from a brand called Hyven. Let's say you are making a CNC machine or a laser cutter. They all use these Taiwan-made linear rails. So you can source parts yourself also, but overall you need a very good amount of software capability to actually bring it all together.
So I think I would like to have a couple of questions. Okay, first of all, this is crazy. Second of all, would you be, when you ship it out as a kit, would you also then be giving them STEM files or STL files of these things so that if it breaks, they can do it again? No. So you'll have parts that they can buy off of your website.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Have you heard of Lumen PNP?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lumen PNP, what's it called?
Opulo.io, Lumen PNP.
Yeah, Opulo. Yeah. So they make it for $2,000.
They do make it for now they do 2,500.
Okay. Their website says 1995, which is why I'm.
Yeah, they are going to update it.
ठीक है. Very similar product. It seems they also have 50 feeders and a very similar build plate, very similar linear.
Lumen PNP is based on a product called Index PNP. Index PNP is based on an open build platform. So it's an iteration over a open source. Let's say Creality Ender 3.
Yeah.
You know the 3D printer, right?
Yeah.
That is based on Prusa's i3 model.
Yeah.
Prusa's i3 model is based on Reprap 3D printer. So everybody is iterating on it.
And this is an iteration on Lumen.
Yeah, so there's a one very big catch here, the software. Now in even in Lumen PNP or other things, I have implemented because I have a IoT background in smart homes. I have made it in a way that you can access it over a network. That is not available in any kind of pick and places. So let's say if you have a 5 assembly lines, all 5 assembly lines are remotely accessible to your laptop.
That is not available anywhere else.
No. So right now I have only connected I've only connected HDMI and then Raspberry Pi ka power supply. If I place it in my charger, so if I pick this laptop and sit outside and there are 5 assembly lines, I can see every machine how many parts it had assembled. This is not there right now in any other thing. Second thing, the motherboard is most of it is redesigned.
Okay. Compared to Lumen, you're saying the motherboard is mostly redesigned compared to that's done by you.
Yeah.
But that's not.
Let's see if Udit has any questions. Are you here?
Udit, you.
Yeah. Just 1 minute. Okay. Hey guys.
Have a look at these PCBs also. They were assembled on the machine.
Can I buy this?
Yeah.
How much do you sell it?
So there are 2 variants. One is 2.5 lakhs where calibration you will have to do. There is a guide on it. And there is a 3 lakhs version where everything is calibrated.
Why not sell this to IITs?
Yeah, I'm planning. There are a lot of IIT clients, smart home may. I have a lot of IIT professors who have done the smart home through me. So I'm going to tell them that I want to sell it to IIT.
Do you have clients today who are ready to buy it?
For the machine, I have 5 pre-orders.
Oh, nice. And what is your addressable market? Who are people who are to buy this?
Contract manufacturers who were doing injection molding before. So there is a company called Topsail who does contract manufacturing for Chroma. Chroma is going to launch a fan. Right?
It's a BLDC fan.
Yeah. Tabletop BLDC fan. Okay. BLDC fan ke liye, you need a motor controller. That PCB first they were going to do in China. Now they bought the machine. Now they are going to do it in house.
Crazy. I can make Dawn stuff here.
Bootstrap.
Yeah.
This size.
Looking for a way to build the same company.
What do you do?
Yeah. So I have a few questions for you. First off, like the idea is superb. Like right now, only like more than 80% of the imports of PCBs it is done from China, right? So like first off, like what is the background of yours? Like you designed a product all by yourself. You had a team.
There is no team. Most of it is modified. So the frame is of Opilo, which is open source machine.
Okay.
But my core competency is in making the machine work and designing the PCBs. So the motherboard and the daughter boards of all of the machine to make it modular to service to the people directly, that is made.
Okay. Do you have any IP over this? Any
Yeah,
patent or?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have filed it. You have received it.
And the software. The thing is, right now there's no pick and place that you can manage it with one laptop.
Also,
okay.
Yeah. So if you have to operate a machine, you need to have one computer with it.
Okay.
Have reduced that. There's no need of another computer.
Okay. Do you have any patent or something, some copyright thing?
No patent. I'm mostly thinking of open sourcing it.
Okay, you are taking open sourcing, and you have your own, software installed. Like with every machine, there is one software of yours that needs to be in place.
I have my own fork of OpenPNP.
Okay, and also you mentioned that this is not your primary company. You develop those smart switches. So how are you going to, look around in the coming days? How you are going to distribute your focus?
So once the machine reaches the final form, I'm going to be then it's just parts and then shipping it out. Then most of the work is similar to what I'm doing at Buildesa, where I'm manufacturing devices. So this is going to the manufacturing assembly line is actually going to be the same thing. Since I am the best customer for this machine, anybody who is using it has already got the machine which has 0 bugs, almost 0 bugs, because I have already solved them. I am already using it. So the experience that they are going to get is just uncomparable to any other machine that is imported from China.
Okay, and how does the sales pipeline look?
So after I get few grants, I'm applying for it. I'll make it in a version where I'm shipping all the three things that are that stencil printer, pick and place, and reflow oven in a package. And then I'm planning to target to contract manufacturers and who is anybody who wants to do it, and some performance marketing. That way, I'm planning to sell it.
Okay, and like how much time it takes, like once the order is placed by the client, how much time it takes for them to get the product in hand?
So in hand, they could get it in 4 days if they are in a very good metro city. Otherwise, it should take more than 1.5 weeks. That's it.
Okay, and how much inventory do you have?
Right now, I don't have inventory. That's why I'm coming for grants.
Okay.
That's why I'm planning so that once it reaches to the final version, I'll probably take the pre-orders, get the orders, order the parts, and then ship it right away.
Okay, and how much minimum capital do you require in order to ship your pre-orders?
So minimum capital should be around 1 CR. But what I plan is after I finish the grants that I'm planning to get, once that is done, what I'll do is pre-orders will already have the
Okay.
50% advance payment. What I'll do, I'll tell that there is a 4 week lead time, and in that 4 weeks, I'll be ordering the parts and then shipping it out. I don't think that would be the. I'm trying to keep it as much bootstrap as I can. I'm trying to find that way. And if I'm succeeding, then yes. If not, then I'll keep the 1 CR funding which I'm planning around.
Okay, and do you have any plans for team building? You are currently doing it alone.
Yeah, of course. I can't do it alone. The thing is, till now, I have done it alone because I found it that it's the most efficient way. But now that I would be selling it, I don't think it's the most efficient, and then I'll be hiring a team which can handle the selling all of that.
Okay, so just to summarize, how does the next 3 months look like? Like how it will be?
So the next 3 months would be the next month I'll be shipping out the first first three machines that I'm thinking. After that, I'll be in the first month I'm launching my own website. After in the second month, I'm going to pitch to universities, all of India and outside also. Once that is done, in the third month, I'll probably have some cash amount where I'll be starting with the performance marketing and targeting to anybody who's making electronic products. Right now, outsourcing it to China, now wants to make it in India.
Right, because I think the colleges incubation centers can also have, because at my college, so I remember we had this 3D printers and all. So I guess that would be a very good idea. We can connect you with some colleges. I guess. Yeah.
That would be great. If you know about T-Works CEO called me after the Twitter post, and he said that he would want to keep it at his facility. I don't know if you know about T-Works. It's a manufacturing plant in Hyderabad, prototyping plant, where you can go and just make your parts for free.
Cool.
It's by Telangana government.
Yeah, T-Hub. Okay, cool. It's with Triple IT Hyderabad also, I guess they have some, collab.
2-3 colleges do have the prototyping.
Right, cool. I am done with my questions. Very great product, very great innovation. Over to you. Yash, Koshagar, you can take over.
Yeah, no questions from our side. I think they're breaking right now. That's what it is. So I'll text you once you're back, right?
मेरे बहन की शादी आ गई, and that was the moment when consistency टूट गया. And when consistency goes off, the whole algo chart goes down for your views and everything. And I was like, why is there no such app where I can just, give my idea to it and get a video of myself talking in it, fully edited, ready to be posted on Instagram? And that's how BeHooked started. Our main thing is that everyone wants to be a content creator today and build distribution. क्योंकि job हो रहा है AI के साथ, but distribution is the only mode today, right? And that's the thing that I am also building, where I'm helping everyone build distribution for themselves. क्योंकि आज founder led brands का जमाना है. मार्क ज़करबर्ग अपना पूरा founder brand, right? लोगों को आजकल लोगों पे नहीं है पर लोगों पे भरोसा है, right? So that's where we are moving towards, and that's where we help. When you want to be a content creator, it is so damn difficult to do it and time taking as well. आपको पहले रिसर्च करके स्क्रिप्ट लिखना है कि भाई किसके बारे में वीडियो बनाऊं, उसमें 2 घंटे लग जाते हैं. उसके बाद आपको शूट करना है, आप रीटेक दोगे भाई साहब कितना 1 घंटा लग जाता है उसमें, राइट? एंड उसके बाद 5-6 घंटे आप एडिट करते हो वीडियो, एंड देन यू पोस्ट इट ऑन इंस्टाग्राम. दैट टेक्स अराउंड 15 minutes. So this is overall like what 6-7 hour job every single day to repeat it. And even if you can do this yourself or hire your help or something, but still अगर आप इतना सब करने के बाद consistent नहीं हो, it's all one. And that's the problem here again. We solve it introducing behook.co, an AI agent that can go from idea to video in minutes. Our bot ideates. The video should look like when finally edited, edits that video according to the visualization, and then posts it on Instagram and TikTok and every single one. We are currently focusing on vertical short form videos, but definitely the tech stack is similar for every long form video as well once we sort the context out of it. Here's a screenshot of our bot. Currently we reside on Telegram. Probably next week we will have our web app out as well. A screenshot of our AI agent going from idea to video in under 15 minutes. So, आज के ज़माने में हम लोग बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सॉफ्टवेयर सीख रहे हैं. प्रीमियर प्रो है, फाइनल कट प्रो है. क्यों सीखना है? मेरे पास ट्रेंडी वीडियोस बनाने हैं, so I just chat with it. And that's where our innovation got, which is autonomous video editing orchestrator comes in, that understands English. तुम सिर्फ बात करो उससे. तुम्हें अगर कोई बी-रोल पसंद नहीं आ रहा है तुम्हारे वीडियो में, यार बता ये मेरे को पसंद नहीं है, 22 seconds पे वो चेंज करेगा आपके लिए. You don't need to go and just look at the timeline and just learn that complicated shit. And we have built our own models. हम बोल रहे हैं कि हम सिर्फ एप्लीकेशन लेयर बना सकते हैं, हम बना रहे हैं फाउंडेशनल. हमने मॉडल बनाया है जहाँ पे वो लिप सिंक करता है और हैंड जेस्चर सिंक करता है. स्टेट ऑफ द आर्ट API which is Hage and Synthesia cost $0.75 per minute. हमारा $0.12 per minute कॉस्ट करता है. हमने टेक्स्ट टू स्पीच वॉइस क्लोनिंग भी खुद बनाया. स्टेट ऑफ द आर्ट 11 Labs Play HD कॉस्ट $0.3. हम लोग $0.03 में करते हैं. दैट इज 10x डिफरेंस नाउ. दिस इज द रोड मैप हियर. फेज 1 है जेनेसिस, इंट्रोड्यूसिंग AI पावर्ड कंटेंट. हमारा AI एजेंट हम लॉन्च कर चुके हैं. पर्सनलाइज शॉर्ट वीडियोस भी बना रहे हैं, और अभी हमारा GTM चल रहा है जहाँ पे हम टारगेटिंग फाउंडर्स एंड अर्ली क्रिएटर्स एज वेल. एंड एक्सपांशन होगा जहाँ पे हम और कंट्रोल देंगे, कस्टमाइजेशंस देंगे. अभी के लिए जब आप हमारे ऐप पे बनाते हो वीडियो, आपके पास कंट्रोल्स एंड कस्टमाइजेशंस अभी के लिए नहीं है. वी आर वर्किंग ऑन इट. वो सेकंड फेज में आएगा जहाँ पे आप कंट्रोल कर सकते हो सब चीज, कि भाई ये चेंज करके दे, ये म्यूजिक पसंद नहीं आ रहा है, चेंज कर. सो दैट इज व्हाट वी गिव इन फेज 2. फेज 3 वी गो फॉर थोड़ा सा. फेज 2 में वो भी है कि कॉर्पोरेटाइजेशन भी है, जहाँ पे कॉर्पोरेट्स को भी टारगेट करना है. एंड फेज 3 इज मेजरली कि हम क्रिएटर्स, ब्रांड्स, सबके लिए एक लॉन्ग वीडियो फॉर्मेट में भी घुसे. And then phase 4 is the ultimate AI video platform बनना चाहते हैं. And then target users अभी के लिए for phase 1 is creators and founders जो पहले से content create कर रहे हैं, founders जिनके पास पैसा है, distribution बनाना चाहते हैं पर time ही नहीं मिल पा रहा उन्हें करने के लिए. So that's there. We are already creating Instagram pages in various niches like marketing and stuff, जहाँ पे हम content बना रहे हैं with AI avatars and it's booming. Few of the pages that we are building are also getting much of views as well right now. Then again, we are cold reaching out to founders on LinkedIn. I have a great presence on LinkedIn as well, so that's a plus point for us. We have that's been the major thing, जहाँ पे मैं अपनी जर्नी शेयर करके बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा ट्रैक्शन लेकर आ रहा हूँ. And then again post user generated content जो user हमारे बना रहे हैं Behook पे. We already have a ready to scale app ready. Few bugs ironing it out. Probably by next week it will be out, a web app. We have 250 plus community members, beta testers helping us to get it out there and make it perfect. We have 750 plus active users right now who have created content using our tech. And we have raised a $15,000 angel round, which was a friends and family round, which has helped us make this impact. Who built this? Again, yeah, I built this. I have already told you guys, I've built a $1 million startup and then an agency as well. Shubham is the cracked guy here. He built Hindi Chat GPT with 3,500 users back in 2020 to 2023 when AI was just starting out. He is the sole person responsible for every single thing. आप अभी देख रहे हो हमने 2 models बनाए हैं. At the same time, we have also built Orchestrator. Single guy built it. We are just a team of like 4 members. So he was the lead there and he has done everything. So basically, content creation without hooked, बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है. It's like going on a trek. But with hooked, it's super easy. You go from idea to video in 15 minutes. That's it.
Great.
Thank you.
What is the model called?
We haven't named it anything. We just called it internally avatar generation model.
Is it on Hugging Face?
No, it's not on Hugging Face. It's closed source, so we are not open sourcing it at this point.
Oh, I thought you said it was somewhere in the slides.
No, we didn't. We might go open source, but we haven't.
Got it.
I said based on open source. So let's say open source is like at 60 on 100. We have trained it on our own data. The architecture is from open source, and then we have trained it on our own data, and now it is 99, 98.
Can we try?
Yeah, definitely. So you can go on behook.co.
Yeah.
You will have to just click on try it for free. But again, आपको video डालनी पड़ेगी. So I can just give you my phone, and you can just.
Okay, I'll have to take my video.
And start onboarding and everything. So I can just give you this video, or you can. I don't know if you can hear or everything. But अभी ही बनाया है. अभी I gave it a prompt at 12:33 p.m. when I was here, and it gave me a video at 12:57. So that was around 20-25 minutes, right?
Ever feel like you're running a marathon just to stand still? Welcome to Mumbai, where the city never sleeps, and neither do its people picture this dawn breaks, and the local trains are already packed tighter than a sardine can. That's the hustle, folks. It's a daily grind, a relentless push to achieve more, earn more, and be more. But here's the kicker, it's not just about the money. It's about the spirit, the resilience, the sheer grit of a city that refuses to quit. Mumbai's hustle is a symphony of ambition, a constant hum of activity from the street vendors to the corporate giants. You'll find people juggling multiple jobs, chasing dreams with unwavering determination, and turning every. This city breeds a unique kind of energy, a collective drive that fuels innovation and creativity. It's in the air you breathe, the food you eat, and the stories you hear on every street corner. So, next time you feel overwhelmed, remember.
So how much of your video data have you given to the model for your
1 minute video and 1 minute audio? The audio is flow matching. So what happens is कि अभी आपने जो बोला बहुत बोरिंग सा साउंड करा मैंने राइट क्योंकि मैंने जब ऑडियो दी है रेफरेंस ऑडियो वो मैं रीड जैसे बात करते हैं वैसे रीड नहीं करते. सो so, अगर मैंने ऑडियो उसको एनर्जेटिक वाली जैसे वो ऑडियो दी होती तो वो भी एनर्जेटिकली बात करता. सो दैट्स मेजरली वो रेफरेंस ऑडियो 30 seconds
for content creator. You if were approached them, how much of training data would you ask for?
30 seconds of a video. तो हमें चाहिए.
Not more.
No. 30 seconds of a video, 30 seconds of audio.
Why not more?
We are not training. We are zero shotting it to make shit happen. So we have our own model. Right. We are not training everything. What we are basically doing is कि हम आपका वीडियो आपने जो 30 seconds दिया है उसमें आपने जो gestures किए हैं उसको with your audio map करते हैं. And जब ये patterns repeat होंगे हम वो gestures shuffle कर देते हैं आपके लिए. And then frame interpolate it for everything. Need to train. We are not training on your data. We are not making a model for you. We have our own model which is zero shot, which is good enough, which we are using. So it's not when you use Hagen or something like that, which is an alternative to us.
Yeah.
You train your model.
Right.
They need a 3-minute video of you to train on.
Correct.
Right? We are not training.
But don't you feel like if like I know very strong competitors in this, like EOS
True.
Labs. For like
EOS is a service.
EOS is a proper service for content
Yeah.
creators where you give them.
So they can be the customers for our models.
Do you think so? Because EOS has their own models. Like they have a very big people engineering team building the whole thing.
Agreed.
I think they're the only ones in India who perfected it. So
They don't have their own models as far as I know.
so they don't have their own model.
They use Hagen.
They've fine-tuned and completed.
Majorly they use Hagen. So क्या होता है कि Hagen जब यूज कर रहे हो वो उनका मॉडल है वही जो हमने स्टेट ऑफ द आर्ट एपीआई हम जब कंपेयर किया तो उनकी कॉस्ट जो है वो 0.75 पर मिनट है.
Can you spell the thing?
HEYGEN.
Okay, Hagen, right.
Yeah. So वही यूज कर रहे हैं. तो अगर हम competitors की बात करेंगे, yeah, InVideo is one, but it is not in the avatar space. It is more in the video orchestration space.
Right. Like so, as far as I know, Varun sells it as a service.
Yeah.
For
he does.
content creators.
Yeah. Yeah, but he sells it for, and what we sell it for, huge difference, right? We sell it as a $50 subscription.
Right. But
Varun sells it for 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh rupees.
Yeah, but the reason he sells it for 1.5, 2 lakh rupees today is because he wanted to see if the whole thing works. Like, don't you think he can?
But now he has told everyone that it works.
Right.
Now we are democratizing it by giving everyone the power that what Varun Maya does, you can do it as well. We have a feature that is on the web app.
But you don't think they can do it?
They can. They can do it with what they have, right? But then building our own models is not that easy. And मतलब हमने 1 साल लगा दिया मॉडल बनाने में, right? So we have that timeline as well. Hagen, etc. on top of it. But then they can't match our pricing. क्योंकि Hagen का एक API का कॉस्ट ही $0.75 आ जाता है. 0.1 तो हमारा जो मार्जिन
But there's a very big difference in quality. Like if I
डेफिनेटली. सो अभी जो है वो टेलीग्राम चल रहा है. सो देयर आर फ्यू अगर मैं टेक्निकलिटीज में जाऊँ, राइट? सो टेलीग्राम बॉट जो है ना उसमें बहुत सारे ये है जो 20 MB वीडियो ही इनलेट है उसका, राइट? यू कैन जस्ट अपलोड 20 MB का वीडियो, राइट? सो उसमें क्वालिटी का जो इनबिल्ट क्वालिटी जाती है ना हमारे पास वही 480p आती है. जब हम 180p पे हमारा मॉडल भी आएगा ना, मतलब जो हमारा वेब ऐप है वो हम तुम डालो भाई 500 MB की वीडियो डालो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. तो तब जब है तब आप जब क्वालिटी करोगे तब अगर Hagen 100 है हम 98 97 तो है. द क्वालिटी ओवरऑल क्वालिटी आप बोलोगे.
मैंने said was lip sync is happening. There's no other thing, and the hand movements that you do in the video are replicated.
हाँ.
So the only thing the model is doing is making the lips match. That's all.
Yeah, but then क्योंकि हमारी इनपुट वीडियो ही 480p जा रही है, राइट? तो जब लिप सिंक होगा तो वो क्वालिटी भी उतनी शार्पर नहीं आएगी, राइट? सो जब हम 1080p.
My point was, I think today like Instagram, etc., like having the highest quality video and
Definitely.
So if I look at a Varun Maya video, I cannot judge if it's an AI
real or AI generated, and that's where हम वेब ऐप पे घुस रहे हैं क्योंकि नहीं मिल रहा है फ्रीडम हमें.
Do you have an example of where the highest quality video, if you can see?
I don't के थ्रू ही जा रहा है.
So by making your own models, do you mean?
See, कैसा होता है ना कि जब हम मॉडल बनाते हैं तो मेजर हमने तो रिसर्च नहीं करी है, राइट? हम लोग एक बेस आर्किटेक्चर उठाते हैं, जो भी होगा कोई भी पेपर होगा. अभी तो चाइना तो किल कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे. तो वो बेस आर्किटेक्चर उठा के हमारे पास बहुत सारा डेटा है, उसके ऊपर ट्रेन करवा के उसको, एंड देन
the defensibility of your own made models,
100%.
or is it something else?
no, the defensibility is the cost because we have our own.
And also, basically, I think quality is supreme in content creation. Quality is supreme. The content creators who already have a established distribution are now trying to free up time.
That's
their
the
time is valuable.
भाई तो हमने अभी बीटा कर लिया जहाँ पे लोग यूज करना चाहते हैं, पर लोग यूज नहीं कर रहे. एक तो आया क्वालिटी का ये, दूसरा लोग टेलीग्राम एज ऐप पे ट्रस्ट नहीं करते, राइट? Web3 वाले लोग करते हैं पर बाकी कोई नहीं करता उनके अलावा, राइट? तो वो वहाँ पे बहुत सारा मेजर ये आ जाता है कि पे नहीं करना हमें टेलीग्राम के थ्रू किसी को भी, राइट? सो वो एक आ जाता है एंड उसकी वजह से हमें पता था कि हमें एक ना एक दिन वो टेलीग्राम से बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा। डिफेंसिबिलिटी नहीं है and even if you can, there is a very high chance that Instagram itself do something like that, right? So they won't let you, अभी तो नहीं करेंगे at least for next 2-3 जहाँ पे उनका मेटा ग्लासेस वगैरह पे फोकस है, but still जब भी वो करेंगे तब जाके there you need to be independent of a platform per se.
Does Aditi and does have any questions? We can take those now. Hey, how's your health?
अरे परसों ही डिस्चार्ज हुआ। क्या हुआ? हाँ, किडनी स्टोन्स। क्रेजी 4।
क्या पी रहे हो भाई?
अरे नहीं, it's majorly dehydration.
I think they're yeah, we can great pitch actually.
डॉग को लैपटॉप से कनेक्ट कर दिया है। डबल साइडेड टेप लगाया है। वाह।
तो बात है।
और नेक्स्ट वन।
Next one.
I think we'll do better over time.
ध्यान से carefully and tell me कि it doesn't look like an offspring of public and ये अपना सोम तक अबे क्या है इसको today net record हाँ today net record I didn't record सच्ची
Yeah. Hey, wait. Let's start. हाँ
Hey guys.
Hi Udit, we just finished with Yash Gavde's.
Yeah, I was looking into that pitch. Sorry, I was not actively involved.
No worries. If you have anything you want to ask him, we can just call him back quickly.
No, like I can to him later. I was okay with it.
Okay, great. Then we'll set up the next pitch and I'll just call him.
Yes.
Okay, guys, we're ready for the next pitch.
Yeah, you can begin.
Hello all. Today I'm here to present the idea Scan Sure, and basically the problem statement is cancer. As we know, cancer is detected at a very later stage, and the entire idea is if there is a way we can spot patterns at an early stage and help prevent cancers. So the whole idea is to connect the ecosystem at India, that is diagnostic labs, and make sure that people enroll and get scans, scheduled scans in a faster manner. Basically, preventive health checks so that they are identified and they get the best treatment. So this is the solution which I'm proposing. Full body MRI. This idea is vetted in US. Ezra.com is provides this service, full body MRI scans to US residents. But the starts from $2,000 upwards of $2,000 to make this in a cost of effective manner for the Indian ecosystem. If we could do this, if we could provide bundle of services in a effective and economical manner, so that we are increasing the uptake of the MRI machines, increasing the utilization of MRI machines, and also nudging the Indian population to get into preventive healthcare, then this is a big win for everyone. And the features are the user can compare prices of all the scans nearest centers. This is the mission: enable early detection of cancer, and how we can detect that using full body MRI screening. This is the overall layout of. First is book and schedule your scan, undergo the scan, visit the center where you have booked your slot. Then based on after the scan is conducted, AI detailed summary of the scan, so that radiologist pain point is also solved here. Radiologist took a lot of time to go through. If our AI with the image detection capabilities does this heavy lifting, then we are improving the turnaround time for everyone. So it is a win-win situation. And we can also provide end consumers with more value-added services, like based on it can be easily extended to pathologies, blood report, detection of other ailments as well. And if there is some anomaly, if there is some anomalies in the results, we can also provide help with consult the radiologist, consult the doctors. This is the screen grab of the app. So now, this is a completely vibe coded project. Backend is being actively worked on, and these are some financial projections. I have been very conservative with the values so far, but even if we assume like a 15% give or take for every scan booking, this is the potential that it can have if implemented at pan India. Yes, can I show the demo?
Of course. You have the link to the demo?
Yeah.
Link with WhatsApp. Just 1 second.
You can search for it over there.
Scansure -AI lovable.com.
What do you think we'll do?
Right now, I have developed this at Lovable. I haven't used Bolt, but I have heard good things about it as well.
Lovable is so far the best source. Really? Yeah. Our landing page is built on the new one.
Proxima?
No, Proxima B and then.
So these are the features. This is the diagnostic centers near you and ranking as well as the based on Google reviews right now. But this can be refined once we have a lot of booking centers in our app. This is fairly straightforward what I have explained. And the diagnostic partners who will partner with us and provide the end-to-end services. So the whole thing is early detection. Early detection as a concept was introduced like by several hospitals, Tata Memorial, Fortis, but the level of awareness that we need at a nation level is kind of less. And my app tries to change that via behavioral nudging. So yes, that's the whole idea.
Can you do you have the POC ready where you put in the scan and then?
So right now it is not integrated with like partner apps who will fulfill this, but right now I have this entire.
So okay, is the platform then an aggregator of sorts where you found the basically do the MRI scan?
Yes, aggregator as well as the AI engine will help. It will get all the scan data, and based on that, like if you have heard of the total MRI segmenter, based on that image detection, we can spot anomalies in the scan results as well. Like there would be two parts for it.
Okay, yeah, you will run the models, right?
Yes, yes.
And not some partner agent.
No.
What is you building and training the model?
That is the idea. Yes.
And where do you get the data from?
From like publicly available data sets of MRI scans.
Okay. And do you have a POC ready for that?
Right now, this is what I have completely, like right now, focusing on the backend integrations of it. But this is which means making sure that scan, bookings, everything, and payment integration. The backend. This is what it would look like, but it is not connected to an API endpoint. Like this cannot be deployed to the centers.
Understood. Can you speak to your background?
I'm into tech. I am a lead DevOps engineer. I do cloud deployments, manage cloud deployments for enterprise like CleverTap. So I have experience with scale and I have experience building high performance, high throughput web apps.
Do you have any sort of medical approval, like FDA approval or whatever the Indian?
No, so far it is very early ideation stage. So far I haven't thought of it, but I am aware of the regulations, the NABL certification, and every regulation that is. Synapsica, which is also doing something similar, and it has FDA approvals. So, like, I will research through it and go through the.
Yeah, I think in India we still there are a lot of companies doing it globally. Like the same thing where a lot like a model can detect better than a radiologist.
Correct.
So I think at a personal level, maybe it makes sense. You can give the analysis, but then you're still supposed to go to a doctor, right?
Yes. So it is supposed to be an assistive tool, not a complete replacement.
Okay.
Yes.
A couple of things. MRIs can't detect all cancer. 70,000 people were diagnosed with blood cancer last year, 4,000 with bone cancer that can't be detected with MRIs because they're not soft tissue cancer. The methodologies for those are usually biopsies and blood samples. Any plans on integrating those in the platform?
Yes, it can easily be extended to all pathology reports. Okay. So the overarching goal is to help increase awareness and reduce the number of cases, because like a lot of people, like my friend's dad, he got a stage 4 cancer and he got like very late detection. So that is an actual problem, and 1 in 2 of every person will at some point of their life suffer through cancer. So it is time that we should work on it. We should actively work to make it happen.
So you're focusing more on the logistics end of it, or more of an inference and like you get the reports, push it on your model, then you get the inference. Like what's the focus on? Is it the logistics or like inference?
Like current focus is to validate like how the POC goes for like once some diagnostic labs are on board, how is the response format, and we'll also work on the model and improving the AI model as well. Like making sure that it is correct and it is giving accurate summaries of the anomalies that it detects.
Yeah. Hey, the idea is great, but I think like right now what I can feel now, there's two different parts of the product that you are pitching. One is aggregating with aggregating with all the diagnostic centers. The second, the part B is basically you analyzing all the reports using AI and giving kind of summarization, right, of what the report tells us. So I guess you need to focus on one thing first, maybe the AI thing, because it is hot, and you will get a lot of clients who might try to use it. But again, I want to know your thoughts that you how are you positioning this as an AI agent, as an AI company, because your name itself says Cancer AI, or
Yes.
you are positioning yourself as an aggregator platform? I want to understand.
So the main impact would be to make it more beneficial to radiologists and to the government, like the government ecosystem for increasing awareness of cancer. Like
Hmm.
the MRI scan or MRI machines in India are very underutilized.
Hmm.
If we bring it to a level that we can increase this by increasing bookings and increasing awareness among people, then that is a state where we down the line we reduce the number of footfall in hospitals by actually early detecting patients and making sure that they never go to the funnel, like of the late detection and the cancer route. So that is where I would focus right now in. And yes, definitely aggregator, like things which make sense, I will definitely keep on adding it and keep on improving that.
Okay, and at what stage you are currently in developing all
Yes,
this?
ideation. I had this
Right.
idea around like a month ago, and this is what I have built so far.
Okay, this is and what is the action plan? Like how you are planning to roll it out
Uh, like as
for
as it
next 3 months?
uh, as it goes, if there is enough interest, like onboarding some partners, doing POCs at local level, doing POCs at the city level, and then like seeing how what is the requirement and what features do they actually need, building SaaS apps for diagnostic labs, then taking their inputs and like making sure that booking a scan is as simple and as intuitive as buying a product on e-commerce or quick commerce site. Like that is like increasing awareness by plugging to WhatsApp and other channels. Like basically anything that can behaviorally nudge people into becoming more conscious about healthcare, preventive healthcare.
Okay, okay, got it. And like, let's suppose there are a lot of platforms, like let's say pharmacy, or maybe Practo or Dr. Lal Path Labs online wing. So like they are also providing a booking facility,
Yes.
and the same scans. What else value are we providing to the customers so that the patients opt in for us?
So when we look at Practo and like other healthcare providers, though they provide very broad range of services, but my app or my idea is more specific to a deep niche. Like
Okay.
I'm focused for a specific idea and building for it, using like making sure that it is driven by the Indian ecosystem, by existing partners, partner diagnostic labs, and making sure that I'm building something for radiologists and building for pain points of radiologists. But it is not necessarily the case for all.
So help me understand one thing. Are we going B2B or B2C? Like how exactly are we aggregating? Like
To
patient
business.
side we have to make now.
Yes, business to business is the main thing.
Uh,
It can be as a subscription model. It can be like Healthify. It can be like so. Right now, like it is pretty hazy in my mind. But at I'm open to any suggestions to make it scale.
okay. Okay. So I guess we need to develop the GTM. You need to create a go-to-market strategy and focus on understanding that what are your modes. So USPs or modes, unique selling proposition, and why exactly people are going to opt in for you. Maybe you have some special discounts, or maybe you are making this
Yes.
whole
So
booking
one
facility.
discount,
Uh,
one point is like the average order value of a MRI scan is around 8,000 to 12,000.
okay.
Like book my scan and some online services do it for 3,500 to 4,000. So if we can have a bundling of packages and provide it at a lower
Mm,
discount, we can validate the demand and see if
mm,
there will be significant demand who
mm,
wants MRI scans and preventive health check
mm,
in economical like the in in an amount that does not burn a hole into their pockets. So
Right.
I think there will be demand, but that needs to be validated, and I will definitely try to validate that.
Right. One more use case that I can identify as of listening to pitch is basically like a few years ago I had taken a health insurance for my parents,
Mhm.
and the health insurance companies they gave some they sent some local uh, testing personnel to get the test done. So maybe if you can position yourself like that you are a platform where you can find you have partnered with all those testing centers and labs, etc. So maybe you can pitch it to the insurers or maybe to the companies
Yes, so
who
I,
can
I was looking into this, and it can definitely be used for insurance underwriting as well. Like this will give enough insight for the demographics to insurers so that they can provide more catered, more targeted services to like people who are actually at risk. So
right.
that definitely be done. But like first, is there enough demand for it, and that will come at a later build.
Yeah, it's a chicken and egg problem.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess you should first if you are using Lovable and Replit, it would be like a 1 week thing. Okay, you develop one prototype, then go to the this testing labs, get on a deal, maybe like how Oyo did with hotels.
Mhm.
So get on a deal with them, have it done locally, maybe in the city you live, and basically try to test out the pilot programs, right? If you are able to get even one or two bookings a week or maybe a month, then it would be enough to understand if there is demand for something like this or not.
Yes.
Right. So I guess you first need to do this MVP part. And if you are able to do this now, if you are able to run the pilot programs, then you will be able to maybe approach insurers as well that, okay, there is a demand for something, or maybe I have a network of, let's say 30 or 50 as a labs that I can serve you. So you can just reach out to our platform. So we'll conduct the test of all the insurers, the proposed insurers, and we will send you the report. We will also send it via API on your application, maybe make it transparent to the customers as well. So it will be a plus point, a unique advantage for the insurers as well. That okay, we give you this kind of transparency in the uh, you know uh, our package. So yeah, you have to figure out something like that. But do make a MVP so we can add better value to it.
Sure, definitely.
Okay. And it is a great idea, to be honest, like really great. You need to just work a little bit more on it so we can get more clarity over it.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. Yes, over to you.
So one feedback from mine is I think you could have focused more on the moat of the idea than all of this. Because if we had gotten to see an actual, you put in a scan in front of us, whatever, that would have established to all of us that you understand what the technology is.
Yes.
Because in this pitch you could not establish that.
Correct.
You established that you're good at making front end so lovable, and you had the idea what you wanted to do in hand. But it would have. But the moat of the idea still is you're a DevOps engineer. You need to run it at scale.
Yes.
You could have established the fact that you actually understand how all of these models work, what the data collect. Because if you're doing scans, you also have access to the scan data, which you could license and use as part of your repository. That's a moat.
So my main focus for this was driving the main point, the awareness, and making sure that the idea and the impact sticks. And then the technical implementation, I am ready to like go into the depth of it. Yes.
Like the seven slide PPT which you had was enough motivate. And I don't think for cancer you need to motivate people on why it's a big problem.
Yes.
So yeah, 100%. Like I would have loved to see the proof of concept. That would have inspired confidence in all of us that you would actually do.
How old is the site?
1 month.
1 month.
1 month. You just started.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next,
Parak is next. Parak.
Parak is man.
Hey Udit, should we start with the next one?
Yeah, definitely. Let's start.
I am Farah and I'm pitching Mahota. And what we are doing is we are democratizing mental health. So currently, we need a median of 29 counseling psychologists for 100,000 ka ratio population. So it's 29 people, 29 counseling psychologists for 1 lakh people. Right now, global median is 0.04, and Indian average is 0.07. So that's a huge issue. Plus, regional areas are untargeted right now because most counseling psychologists either speak English or Hindi, right? So 1 in 5 employees experience mental health issues in almost all organizations. This was U.S. Department of Labor Statistics, and as sorry, a lot of yeah, sorry, a lot of employees also face a lot of stress within the organizations, and organizations are taking steps to combat it. They have in-house counselors and the mechanisms, but.
Yes. I don't know. Did you have any questions?
No.
Yeah, but unfortunately, a lot of employees do not talk about their workplace stress with their counseling psychologist because they are afraid that that information might get transferred to HR. So that's a big concern right now. And another statistics from World Health Organization is for every dollar invested, it's an ROI of $4.
But that's unfounded, right?
That's WHO.
No.
Yeah.
The fact that if you go to your company psychologist, then that can be.
This is anecdotal. A lot of.
It's not true, right?
The people we have spoken to, they say they discuss their personal problems, but they do not want to discuss their work-related problems to their counseling psychologist.
Correct.
Because that's what they're really afraid
But
of.
a psychologist is not legally allowed to disclose any of that.
Of course. But when the counseling psychologist is sitting in front of you, taking notes, you do not know where that note. It makes sense. It's anonymous.
No, I'll actually back what he's saying. It does happen. It does happen.
But that's illegal, right?
Yeah, but doesn't really
It's
matter.
a subconscious aspect of it.
Yeah, right.
So what we noticed was therapy is really expensive. Average is about 2,000 rupees per session, and lower end you might get to 800. But then the degradation of quality happens. As in, the counselor needs to be really good at his or her jobs to charging a certain amount of money. Limited access. There's no access to counseling psychologists in rural areas, tier 2 cities, even tier 2 cities specifically. Tier 1 still have a certain amount of counselors, and even the backlog because the ratio is very skewed. And of course, there's a stigma of going to a counselor, and people might notice me going to a counselor. If someone knows me in this locality, they might see me. So the market is huge. Global CAGR is low, and Indian market is growing extremely fast. And by 2032, it's predicted to be $62.8 billion. But one thing that I think CAGR does not take into account is that the transfer of knowledge work that's going to happen. When there's a lot of loss of jobs, there's loss of meaning that leads to stress, anxiety, depression. So I think this is not an accurate representation of CAGR, but that's of course a guesstimate. And Deloitte conducted a survey which said that $14 billion are lost annually by Indian companies due to poor mental health of their employees. So what we are focusing is on 24/7 support, anonymity, and we want to make it affordable for a range of individuals. That's first we'll be focusing on B2B employees, and then further we'll be going to B2C and other regional languages also we'll be focusing on. Our goal is to create an LLM with sentiment analysis, for which we are using Hume right now, and we are fine-tuning it further down the line to for prompts, the therapy prompts. So we have a significant amount of tested templates, and we are increasing it daily. And one thing we have noticed is that therapy is different from west to east, like globally. Western is very individualistic, whereas as you progress further, it's very tribal, communal based. So that's another thing that a lot of like currently there are competitors. Wobot is a competitor, and what they focus is on individual therapy, but it's supposed to be very individualistic in nature, as in it's very specific to the client. So if I am from an Indian context, I might not find the therapies that are being offered to my Western counterparts. So our focus is to integrate uh, vision capabilities into therapy because a significant amount of communication is non-verbal. Those could be tics, those could be blinking or some sort of agitations that might not be visible in the voice.
Right. So currently it's just human can only do voice analysis, right?
Yes.
Real time. So it's just voice for now.
Yeah, right now it's text based and voice based, and we have just done a prototype right now. Like the MVP is 90% done, and these are like I said, our competitors Therabot and Wobot have done a trial, and these were the clinical studies that brought back the results was 51% decrease in depression, 31% decrease in anxiety, and Wobot 21% decrease in depression, 23% decrease in anxiety. So these have been tested in the market and they have provided results. Of course, these are not our studies, but as we progress, we could do that. But it creates a validation in the market. Yes, these sort of techniques work.
How do you like get a percentage number of how less depressed you are? Like 21% less?
Yes. So these are not our studies. This was done by Therabot and Wobot, and according to their studies, what they realized is they took like once you start therapy through the text, Therabot does it, they assign you a score of anxiety, and as you like, I think it was an 18-month process, the entire thing, and after that, they asked the users for the anxiety scale, where do they fall in, and I think that's the way. I think better studies are required, but it's just a sort of direction where the market says that it's sort of validated, like it works.
So the users reporting how.
Yes, correctly.
There can be a lot of bias.
Of course, as like I said,
inventories are known to be very, very like top heavy in terms of the bias.
yes. So that's the issue we are saying. Like we need to replicate studies, and we need to be sure that these are not like these can be replicated. If they can't, of course, yeah.
Diagnostic is usually self-assessed. If the team are consciousness,
But that's how even psychologists would do.
exactly.
Yes.
That's the thing
Those are like वो begs depression and mental illness सारे जो inventories होते हैं उसी के through determine होता है कि आपको क्या है. Right. So if you use the same inventories,
it's the same thing.
it's the same thing. Makes sense.
Yeah, so I stole this phrase from Twitter, hire self as a service, and I think we need to make people more agentic, where they have, where they understand that they have the choice. Camo very beautifully put it that, what if we imagine Sisyphus happy? And I think that's a very good thing, that we need to provide tools to allow people to feel like, yes, there's struggle in life, but there's meaning to it as well. So that's our end goal.
You did a pilot, right?
Yeah, we did a pilot. So that was a very basic. We are working on WhatsApp right now because it already has a huge distribution funnel.
All on WhatsApp and
No, so it's we have connected with Twilio. So you have these unique codes that you get once you become a user. We don't save any numbers or names. Only unique codes are assigned, and that too can be accessed only through unique access codes. Further down the line, like we are going to collaborate with organizations. So the anonymity aspect is very heavily enforced in our organization right now.
No, I don't understand. How does it work? Do I chat with it? Do I
Yes,
call it?
you text with it.
So it's chat for now.
Yeah, text based right now.
So even the human analysis is not voice, it's chat. Through chat?
Yes, and but Hume is only for a. So this pilot that we did was for direct to consumers, not for organizations.
Correct.
So Hume is our offering in organization based. So where organizations can monitor the sentiment in various departments. Say if there's Deloitte, they have mergers and acquisitions, where they have audit these are different departments. What the stress and anxiety are in each department, and what are the major keywords that keep popping up. So all these organizations have a certain amount of budget for mental health within their organization,
Just you said that you want.
Yeah,
like,
that's
अभी के लिए
exactly.
तुम बोल रहे थे कि they share with the organization.
No, so yeah, so we individual data is not shared. So what is department based? So say there are 15 people in a department, an audit, 15, 30 people in an audit department in a project.
Right.
So that department is facing high stress. So what we have realized is, in especially Big Four, they work project based. So when there's a project, say there's a merger and acquisitions project, they will assign their team, and the team is working very hard. But there's latent talent within the organization. Say people in audit don't have a project right now. Those people can be transferred within the organization into this department. So it's better allocation of human resources.
Wait. So you're going from mental health dashboard agent company to a to an HRMS.
No, so it's a combination. So it's mental health focused, right? And then we get data from it.
So it's allocation on the basis of mental health.
Yes. So if there is a spike in stress and anxiety in a department, then organization can find latent talent within the organization where people.
That's very scary. Which means that you're not looking to solve the problem. If you get stressed, you get
No, not replaced. So this came after like Ernst and Young, yeah. So she was overworked, but there was people in the organization that didn't have that amount of work. Now, if there are 5 people working on a project and it's highly stressful, you can take 3 people from a different project and add them to it, where that project, like a different department, is not facing the same amount of stress, does not have a project. It's better allocation of resources. That's what I'm saying. You don't get the people out of the department, but you like.
No, I understand, but I think it's very simplistic. So this is so adding more people to a problem doesn't necessarily solve the problem.
Of course.
So if there is excess amount of stress, those are probably bad processes in place which need to be changed, or something else needs to happen. It's probably not. So it's a good indicator of how bad things are.
Yes.
But I don't think that'll tell you the solution. It's like it's like tracking KPIs. You cannot rely on KPIs to tell you what your next step is. But it'll tell you the real state of how things are. So if your billing team is stressed, you know there is a problem which exists.
Right.
The solution may or may not be adding or removing people, but it'll probably tell you that there is a problem.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what our goal. Like that's the base layer. That.
Right.
So we are thinking of ways to improve experience for the organization. So data is anonymous. So we have divided to 15. So any data will have at least 15 individuals. Like any pot will have at least 15 individuals.
Right.
So that's anonymized enough.
And is this Slack messages?
So we have just done a product. We haven't added 2 Slack messages or anything yet. Right. So I'm just building up the MVP.
So people need to use your platform to chat with each other?
Yes.
With each other?
Right now we are for WhatsApp based and
Right now it's a WhatsApp group,
right now it's a WhatsApp based and
okay.
We'll be changing it into, of course, front-end because we'll be adding vision and voice capabilities. We do not want it to be.
Okay, so this is still a therapy session where you're going in and speaking to the person.
Yes.
To a bot.
Yes.
Okay. Understood.
It does not look at your
other
no. One-to-one. So it's all self-assessment again at the end of it.
And how frequently does a person have to do it?
So ideally, it should be like stress periods. So it's project based, so alag hota hai, but generally about thrice a week is enough to get a sentiment. Like currently, also a lot of organizations have that like how are you feeling today kind of pattern, right? So that, but it's a significant extension of that, where we do the sentiment analysis and the user, because a lot of people just aimlessly click happy or okay or normal.
Correct.
They don't focus on what they are genuinely feeling.
Yeah.
And there'll be systematic prompts that would say, okay, like how's your project going or something like that in those lines.
But how do you solve for that? Like if I as an employee am told that every days in a week, 5-day working week, I'm supposed to fill out a form or tag to this.
No, it's not. So what we are doing is we are giving leading prompts where conversation flows naturally. So now all organizations have a budget, have a target in regards to mental health. What we are doing is we are telling them to allocate it properly and resourcefully so that it gives them better results. That's how we are going. Like we have leading prompts that will allow people to. It's not like okay, it's 3 p.m. Just check in. That's very subconscious, and that does not bring in any effort.
I got two things. First thing, if you're replacing a Likert scale basis system, where how are you feeling from very sad to very happy, with a conversation that tracks voice and facial cues. A, how are you quantifying that? Second thing, if you have leading prompts, the validity and reliability of that conversation, they go down.
So
because it's a leading prompt.
Correct. So what we are doing right now is focusing only on technique. We haven't tested out voice and vision. We haven't tested those out. Of course, as the market decides, then we'll iterate and improve the product according to the needs of the users. But
I still don't understand how you're able to motivate a person to actually go through the whole process. So unless it comes from within.
Yes.
And yeah, like you correctly pointed out about the optics of the thing where whenever something comes from the company or you're supposed to talk to a psychologist or fill a form, every employee is very skeptical. So I'm trying to understand what you're proposing solves for that.
So there we need to create a certain amount of awareness within the organization of the anonymity of it, and we also need to encourage people and how no one wants to be miserable. It's never a conscious choice. So once you tell them that just spending this amount of time, a certain amount of in the week, may help you and will help you be better, not only in your workplace, but in your general family life as well. So that kind of is a motivating factor. Of course, there are other various ways we could use social aspects of like the book hooked or certain signals that would kind of be addictive, but that's something we will wait to try unless.
Udit, do we have any questions?
Yeah. Like I have a few questions. Just to understand it. Like right now, are you looking for becoming a B2C company, or maybe just targeting the patients or maybe the people who are utilizing it, or you are trying to partner with the corporates and implement it in B2B? How are you looking for it?
So right now we are exploring two avenues, either through partnering with already existing HR organizations, but our goal is right now B2B. Of course, if we understand the needs of the users, and we improve and iterate accordingly.
Okay. Do you have a demo of the platform?
No, not right now. I'm almost done with it. I could send a screen recording further down the line, like
Okay.
2 days.
Do you have that screen recording? Can you play it right now?
Let me see a second. I suppose this was one of the early iterations of our dashboard.
Okay.
This is Power BI?
Yeah.
Ajay, tell me one thing. Are you planning to have it on text or on call video? How are you trying to have the AI communicate with the patient?
Currently, we'll start off text-based, and then we do think vision is a strong capability because non-verbal cues play a huge part in like peer-to-peer communication. So that will be further down, but we'll start text-based.
Okay. And don't you think that there is a lot of AI counselor app out there? If I go to production.com and I just search for AI counselor, I get so many applications. How are you differentiating from them?
Yes, I agree. What we have noticed is the influx of such apps means that there's a market for it. And what we are focusing on organizations right now, B2B organizations. Of course, further down the line, we'll also have vision and voice these capabilities. Those are not offered yet. And we have other parallels that we can build forward through this. But I don't know if I should discuss this right now, otherwise I might seem all over the place.
Okay.
Because we can have
Okay.
enough of data for profile matching and such cases like conflict resolution automated.
Okay. Okay. I'm done with my questions. You guys can proceed.
Thank you.
I also asked my questions. I'm done too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Ravi, your turn is Ravi.